we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Beat in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then taste it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. Taste the fate to see. Just like the wind.
Hey, we're live? Live? Oh, he's excited, folks. It's going to be a good one.
Oh my God, let me tell you something. It is hotter than a donkey's nutsack outside, but it's about to get even hotter up in here, motherfuckers. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you to a very special Thursday stream, as we are streaming live on 4 different platforms across 6 different accounts. We turn it up on a Thursday, and as you can see, I am not alone. Back with me once again, and it has been 1 year since he's been on my channel. Now things are about to get even hotter. Ladies and gentlemen, he's coming to us from New York. He is a dedicated professional wrestling fan, one of the best wrestling analysts in the game right now, and a guy that matches, or even dare I say, supersedes my level of charisma, and I don't even believe I just fucking said that. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Wrestling with Savage. How are you today, sir?
I am very good. Obviously, you're fired up on a Thursday night, but it's not Mr. Wrestling with Savage. You can just call me Mr. Savage, Mr. Greek Savage. Wrestling with Savage is just the brand, just like you. You're DJ Storms. This is Storms. What is this? In Storms We Trust. Is that a hashtag? Is that trending?
Damn fucking right it is.
I like it, man. You do have energy, man. Like I told a few people that I've been, speaking about certain projects that I have cooking. Like, yeah, this kid's definitely got energy. He can talk about wrestling for hours, and actually make valid points. As much as you want to like punch him in the face for half the crap he's saying, he's got valid points. And I like it. I respect it. And I actually told one of my friends, I said, you know what? He's kind of like me. You know what I mean? He says whatever's on his mind, very blunt, very straightforward. He's not thinking about getting shot in the face when he's saying these things. He's just thinking about getting his point across. Just like when I was in Philadelphia, calling everyone a cockroach. I wasn't thinking about getting shot in the face.
You see, let me tell you something. No one has the balls to shoot me in the face. That's the problem with today's society.
Yeah, if you go down the wrong block in New York, we could change that. But you're in New Jersey.
Well,
you're safe.
I don't live in New York.
Yeah, I know. But it's all right. You're in New Jersey. You're safe. We got a lot cooking tonight, don't you?
Oh, no, absolutely, absolutely. We got plenty of shit cooking tonight. But before we get into what we're going to get into, and we're going to get into a lot, we're going to go over Collision. We're going to go over Dynamite briefly as well. Yeah. And we got a major announcement. I may as well get this out of the way now, and then I'm going to hand it over to Savage. Me and Mr. Savage, the Greek Savage, and I, we are going to be debuting an all-new show starting in 1 week on Thursday, May 30th. Starting at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time every single week, it is the Savage Storm Wrestling Super Show, where we will stream live during TNA. We're going to have one of Savage's co-hosts, Jay, on the show. We're going to talk about every major news topic in the world of professional wrestling, as well as go over some major results from the major weekly shows. And if there is a pay-per-view weekend coming up, we will give our preview and predictions on all the major matches going down at the pay-per-view on either that following Saturday or Sunday. And I'm very, very excited to do this with Savage because Savage, he brings a lot of energy to the table. And Like me, he brings a lot of valid points to the table, and I've been keeping my eye on him for a long, long time. He's got a lot of good things going for himself, and the Savage brand and the Storms brand are about to get a hell of a lot better. But Savage, before we get into what we're going to get into, where can everyone find you on social media? And can you tell everyone about all the major events and happenings that you got going on in the coming months?
Yeah, I can absolutely do that. But first, let me say I'm very excited about this new show. I think we have an opportunity here to not only change the game, but take over the game and show people what a wrestling super show looks like. We'll be able to give people not only all the information on every single major promotion, but possibly we're going to be covering some of the indie stuff as well, too, and giving people cutting edge news on matches, signings, opportunities for workers, whether you're a cameraman, referee, a wrestler, a valet, or maybe just a hardcore fan. It doesn't matter. I will make sure that I go to town to bring the absolute best to that show every single Thursday, as I'm sure DJ Storms will as well. There's no number one, there's no number two here, James. It's just the Savage Storm Super Wrestling Show. And the only number one I'm worried about is the number one spot on Thursday nights. The number one spot on Thursday nights. The number one wrestling show in the world today. And it's about to happen. The Savage Storm Super Wrestling Show. Be prepared for Thursday nights because they will never be the same again. Now, I do host a show named Wrestling with Savage, and I do it every single Tuesday night, every single Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. I watch NXT, and I break down the entire week. That is the WWE on Wednesday nights. We have some fun. Sometimes we bring in some guests. Sometimes we play video games. Sometimes we just argue for 2 hours. It doesn't matter. We're there. We're there for you every single week. The Savage Kingdom on Tuesday nights, and then on Wednesday nights, we start talking about all elite wrestling. We start talking about everything that is Tony Khan and your champion Swerve Strickland and what's going on with Jack Perry, the scapegoat. There's a lot to talk about every Wednesday night. And at the same time, we also include a little WWE chatter in between those 2 hours. And then on Thursday nights, immediately following the Savage Storm Super Wrestling Show, you can watch, hypothetically, the best podcast of all time, The Party with Marty. And tonight at 10 p.m., I have a very special episode for you because what I've been doing, Storms, over the last few years is not only have I been getting involved in the wrestling scene, I've been taking over parts of the wrestling scene. My name is well known in New York City as one of the best promoters in the game. I take care of my clients. They come here and they leave knowing that they just got taken care of the Savage way. And the word has spread. And that's why I have clients like Marty Jannetty, Spencer Slade, Diamond Dallas Page, Jacob Fatu, Speedball Mike Bailey, Swerve Strickland, and the list goes on. I can name more. Sabu, Rob Van Dam. Sabu's knocking on my door. He wants me to produce a podcast for him. That's what I got cooking. I got Chris Jericho in my voice box because he wants to do a light side of the ring documentary on Marty Jannetty. It's time to talk about the revolution of the dark side era because the dark side era, I'm over it. Storms, I'm over all the bitterness. I'm over all the sadness. I'm over all the taking and exploiting all the secrets of this business that should stay kind of secret. But besides that, I'd like to see Marty Jannetty get what he has coming, which is a Hall of Fame induction. He deserves it. Al Snow deserves it. Anyway, tonight, story time with Al Snow, 10 p.m. Go on YouTube, search for the Party with Marty podcast. And
shout out to Marty, baby.
Yeah, shout out to Marty. Happy birthday to Brian Danielson. Did you know that Sting's son wants to get in the wrestling scene, Storms? What do you think about that?
I actually did read up on that report. He's actually training with Darby Allin as we speak. And I will tell you this.
That I did not know.
He did not look bad. He did not look bad during the final match back at Revolution on March 3rd. So you know what? Good on him. And he's in good shape. At the
do you
end
know
of the
how
day,
old he is?
I do not. I really do not.
He looks young. He looks young.
He does look young, and regardless, he looks in good shape too. And if you're in good shape, then ultimately you should be a very nice transition to the pro wrestling scene, although it all depends on how far along he gets with his training. But if he's being trained by Darby Allin, I think that he has a very good chance of making it in the pro wrestling scene relatively quickly. And I'm very, very happy for Steve's son, Stephen Borden. Shout out to Sting. Once again, congratulations on the retirement. And congratulations to his son, Stephen Borden, on train to becoming a professional wrestler as well.
Yeah, Stephen Borden's definitely going to make it because he has something that, other people have in common. I don't know, a guy named Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, just happens to be second generation talent. It's in his damn blood. So if the training don't do it, I'm sure the blood will. Good luck to him. Now, I got to ask you this. 2 quick questions. Do you agree with this assessment of the Mount Rushmore of the Attitude Era? And do you believe The Undertaker is the greatest character in wrestling history?
Well, let me ask you this. When we're talking about the Mount Rushmore of the wrestling era, are we talking about...
No, this is just Attitude Era.
Well, no. Now, here's the thing. Mount Rushmore of the Attitude Era, that brings up another question. Are we talking about the Mount Rushmore of WWE side or WCW side, or both?
See, I can't even take that question seriously because WCW has nothing to do with Attitude Era. When WCW started, that was the Invasion Era. That was a whole different... The Attitude Era was pretty much gone, which is why they bought WCW, because the Attitude Era was what was used to put WCW out of business. And once that business was done being attended to, we had a new era, the Invasion Era, the ECW era, the WCW era. So I can't even take that question seriously, sir.
Well, if we're going to talk about WWE's side and when they went into the Attitude Era, it is very, very difficult for me to argue those 4 names. Mick Foley can definitely be, he could be slid out. Depends on if you want to put in a special 4th spot for D-Generation X, because D-Generation X, or whichever one you want to do. I think you want to
I would give it more to Triple H over Shawn.
Yeah, if you want to put a Triple H in there, I think that Triple H definitely played a big part in the Attitude Era with...
Huge part. My man was beating up everybody you see on that screen. I mean,
pretty much, yeah. Triple H was right in there. But if someone were to tell me that is their Mount Rushmore of the Attitude Era, I'm certainly not going to argue you, because those 4 names had unbelievable moments, some of the best moments that pro wrestling has ever seen during that era. Now, regarding The Undertaker, the greatest character in wrestling history, absolutely. Zero debate whatsoever. And I'm going to go a step further. In my eyes, the greatest performer of all time, because not only that, he was the perfect blend of character and wrestling and promo skills. Everything that he did, everyone hung on what he was doing because he just had the perfect, and I mean the perfect overall package. So not only the greatest character in pro wrestling history, but the greatest period in pro wrestling history.
Okay. I can't argue with you. I won't argue with anybody. I just wanted to give a shout out to Tommy Dreamer. Take a quick look at his little lunch that he had the other day, because he's been losing a lot of weight. So that was his cheat meal right there. Look at that thing, man. Shout out.
He's living the high life, baby.
Real quick, best faction of all time for you? Because I'm trying to get to know you a little more, obviously. I need to know who I'm going to be working with. I need to know where your mind's at. So in your opinion, I'll say my answer. It's the first 5 months of NWO, best faction of all time, because they actually competed with WWE. Other people say 4 Horsemen.
The whole time was the NWO, specifically because of the fact that what they did was so unprecedented, because no one ever thought that Hulk Hogan was ever going to turn heel. And it was something that was just so unbelievable, to a point where people were actually throwing garbage in the ring. You never see that nowadays. You never see that nowadays on a major wrestling promotion.
Although that did happen in the 80s quite often. It happened. You know why, though? It happened in the 80s more because nobody had their cell phones to keep themselves busy. So they were actually involved in the thing, and they were more emotional. You know what I mean? The emotions were all invested in where they were at the moment. And I think that's a big reason why you see a lot of shows that are dead. These fans, half of them are on their cell phone throughout the show, whether they're taking pictures or recording or just they spend more time trying to satisfy their little following online than satisfying the eyes in their head.
Well, I think that's definitely part of the reason. That's definitely part of the reason. The second part of the reason has to do with the fact that in many cases, there's a lot of fans, mostly on WWE side, even though WWE's been doing a lot better, but there's a lot of fans on WWE side that aren't real wrestling fans. Because I say this all the time. People want to talk about casuals this, casuals that. Casual fans are not real wrestling fans. You know why? Because Casual wrestling fans are not passionate about the business. Casual wrestling fans are not passionate about what they're watching. They're merely watching what they're watching to kill 2 to 3 hours of their
Storms,
time.
I'll say it again. I blame it on the generation that we're in, with the technology and the things that we have, the options people have. You know what I mean? Most of these kids spend their whole lives thinking about what they want to do when they grow up, what they want to do for fun, what they want to eat, what they want to this. What the passion has been sucked out of life, my friend. It's not the same anymore. That's why more people need to wake the hell up and take advantage of the life that they have and enjoy every single moment, make the most out of it, be intense, be vibrant. People aren't like that though, because the passion has been sucked out of life. But let's not talk about philosophy right now, because we'll sit here all night debating on human beings out there that don't know how to live their life.
I'd be a damn fucking
their
good
ability.
philosopher, I'll tell you that.
I'm Greek, so it's in my blood. But do you agree with this assessment of the King and Queen of the Ring?
We will talk about that when we get to the King and Queen of the Ring portion.
We're saving that. We're saving that.
Yeah, we're going to save that.
No problem. All right. Yeah, I manage Spencer Slade. I have merch, all that good stuff. I don't care about any of that. I just want to talk about the wrestling universe. It's a great store. It's in Queens, New York. Gives you the chance to meet a lot of legends and wrestlers like Mike Chioda. Kurt Angle was recently there. I got to hang out with Kurt Angle, DJ Storms. I'm sitting there, picking him up from the airport, taking him to the gym, working out with him, taking him for breakfast. He got to meet my son. And then, of course, we go and we talk to the fans. He meets all the fans. He had a huge line. Great turnout at the best wrestling store in the world today, the Wrestling Universe, where you can pick up collectibles, figures, or even better yet, meet professional wrestlers of all kinds.
I know.
Look at all these different signings, legends like Greg the Hammer Valentine. We have a Hall of Famer over here, half of the Jumping Bomb Angels, Itsuki Yamazaki. All right, the Mounties in the house. Scott Norton, Sid Vicious. Storms, this is a rare signing. If you want to come hang out with Sid, you're more than welcome to. You got an open invite from me. Doug Gilbert's going to be there, good friend of Sid Vicious. Basically, Sid Vicious only comes out if Doug's coming out. I'll put it to you like that. Tito Santana's going to be in the house. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Eric Bischoff. Here's a big one. Booker T. Going to be at the Wrestling Universe, currently working for NXT right now. I'm going to be hanging out with Booker T. I'm probably going to pick him up from the airport too and take him for breakfast too, DJ Storms. So the best part about all this, though, is we're going to have exclusive Ride Along with Savage content for the Super Savage Wrestling Show, okay? We're going to have conversations with Booker T. We need to get to the bottom of this shucky ducky quack quack business. Where did it originate? Why is it here?
I know where it originated from. I don't know how do you not know?
I don't care. Shucky Ducky Quack Quack has no business on color commentary.
It's probably the only entertaining thing about him on commentary.
Well, here's the hottest signing of the summer. Okay, formerly known as the Billa Twins, Brie and Nikki Garcia. And this is rare because it's only limited to 200 people. So if you want to meet them, I suggest going and getting your tickets right now at thewrestlinguniverse.com. Elijah's going to be in the house. Can't wait to talk to him, formerly known as Elias or Ezekiel or Ezekiel's uncle or father. I love that storyline. I wish they would have kept going. That was actually funny.
Tully. Big Tully.
That's a big signing as well. Jake the Snake Roberts is going to be there. Tony Atlas in the house. Jimmy Valiant. DDP, man. We got DDP. He's going to give me some lessons on that DDPY. And if you don't know what the Y means, it means yoga. But DDPY is different than yoga. It's better than yoga. That's so good so that the NFL gave him a contract, Storms, which I'm sure you were aware of.
The Boogeyman.
Papa Shango. And then, of course, at the end of the year, we always do a tag team. Look at this. Just
Demolition, the Axe and the Smasher.
All right. Take it off the screen. This is too much. WrestlingUniverse.com. Keep up with all your favorite wrestlers. And yeah.
You already know where y'all can find me on X and Instagram at HistoryMakerDJS. One more time, at HistoryMakerDJS, because all I do is make history in everything that I fucking do, because I am the greatest to ever do it. There is no one that can do what I do at the fucking level that I do, bar no one. You can also add me on my personal Facebook as well for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Please make sure that you like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms posse group on Facebook, that is. And you can add me on Rumble. I am currently live on Rumble right now for the rundown for King and Queen of the Ring and Double or Nothing 2024. Please go check me out on there. We're looking to build a nice solid following over there because there ain't no one that's doing wrestling content creating over on Rumble like I'm doing wrestling content creating over on Rumble, like we're going to be doing on Rumble when we going live every single fucking Thursday. In addition to that, please make sure you hit me up for merch. If you want some merch, I got DJ Storm's wristbands, I got DJ Storm's t-shirts, and the greatest fucking piece of merch that you will ever own, the official DJ Storm Switchblade comb. Because like a hot, fresh, steaming plate of raviolis, I had those for dinner tonight. I am just so good. Oh, I am fucking scrumptious and tasty. The most delicious snack in the IWC. And everybody wants a piece of the Storm's Meister. It is an absolute fucking fact that I make people's lives better. I didn't make the rules. Yes, I did. In addition to that, please make sure if you have not already done so, hit the like button, no matter whether you're watching it on my YouTube channel, Savage's YouTube channel, Savage's Facebook, my X account, or Rumble. We got a lot of outlets tonight, so please share the stream out, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and subscribe to Savage's channel, and hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace.
Yeah, I see your chat popping off, all right? We got James in the house. We got Greg in the house. Make sure you guys all go over, like his stream right now, and then go and follow me. Wrestling with Savage. I make it easy for them. I'm Wrestling with Savage on every platform known to man. That matters.
And by the way, I'm monetized, baby. So if you guys are watching the stream on my channel right now, please be sure to hit the super chats, be sure to hit the super thanks, be sure to hit the super stickers, and become a channel member today, because I've been doing this for almost 7 fucking years now. Coming up in July, it'll be my 7-year anniversary. I think I deserve a little fucking dough for all the hard work that I've been doing. So please make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the channel membership button, super chats, super stickers, and super thanks, and you'll get top tier priority. I will be reading your comments as the shows go on. But we got some shit that we're going to get into. Before we get into the pay-per-view preview and predictions part of the show, why don't we give the people a little bit of a taste of what they can expect on the Savage Storm Wrestling Super Show. Let's go over Collision from this past Saturday. Now, I watched Collision very, very intently. I do not take notes on Collision. However, I watch it and I analyze everything in my head, and I do remember everything that took place. AEW has been putting out some good TV this month. However, Collision, it did have some good material, but it did not have a good flow. If anything, there was a bit too much packed into the show. And when you have too much packed into the show, it often comes off as very cluttered, oversaturated, and it does not resonate well on TV. I am a very fair individual. I do not have any allegiance. I'm not trying to get a job with any wrestling company. I am fair, I am straight to the point, and I am completely unbiased. Almost every show that they've been putting on this month in May has been solid. Collision, too much shit going on the show, but we're going to go over everything. So, Savage, I figured I'd give it over to you. You want to talk about Will Ospreay versus Shane Taylor?
Oh, not really, because let me make this clear. I do not watch Collision, but I keep up with all the matches, who wins, who loses, what was a good match. And if I hear about a match that is solid, I go back and I watch it. The reason I don't watch Collision is because it's on Saturday nights, and I like having a life on Saturday nights. I will never be a fan of having this show on Saturday nights because then I get to miss sometimes matches that I want to watch. And I'm going to go back and watch this match later on. But what I will do for you is quickly give you the results. And then if there was a match that you want to talk about, I mean, the floor is yours. This is your show. Will Ospreay defeated Shane Taylor. You had Johnny TV taking a loss to Hook. And that bothered Jay. I'll talk about how he felt about this. He hates Hook. He thinks Hook is a piece of shit. He thinks Hook is a terrible wrestler. He thinks Hook can't punch. He thinks Hook can't do a lot of different things. I disagree. I think Hook is only 3 years into this game and has showed significant improvement from day one till today. I think he deserves where he needs to be. I love that spot he did with Samoa Joe. And I know what Hook is capable of, and I'm happy he won this match against Johnny TV. Shibata defeated Rocky Romero. If you don't know, Rocky Romero is a very busy man. I'm surprised he even had time to make this match happen because this guy's a producer. He talks to the stars in the back. He helps these guys out. He works and produces multiple matches, segments, interviews, etc. And he has time to go out and put on, I'm sure, what was a great match. Rocky Romero was a great wrestler.
It was decent. It was decent.
Shibata's better. Brian Keith, the bounty hunter, took on the Boulder. Boulder I know well from Creative Pro. I've seen him wrestle there many, many times. And it looks like they're trying to rebrand him as the Boulder. It didn't do anything for him against Brian Keith, who picked up the win. Orange Cassidy defeats Isaiah Cassidy. I'm very interested to see where Orange Cassidy's headed. I am praying that on Sunday he shows up in a new gimmick. I hope he shows up in a suit. I hope he shows up with Don Callis all out, ready to be full super bad guy Orange Cassidy. We'll see if it happens. Serena Deeb picked up the win against Anna Jay. Let's see if she can pick up the win against Toni Storm at Double or Nothing. Nick Wayne, one of the best young talents in the world today. And I don't just say that often. He is legitimately one of the best wrestlers in the world today, and he's just a kid. Imagine what he's going to be doing in 5 years. And Bryan Danielson, FTR, they took on Lance Archer and the Righteous, and of course, you know they're going to win their match over there. That's a little shot of the action from Collision.
Pretty much. And I was watching that show very intently. I'm going to be quite honest with you. They really just should have made the triple threat match on Dynamite official right out of the gate. We did not need to have an FTW Contender Series because no one really cares about the FTW Championship. Now listen, Chris Jericho, I have nothing but respect for Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho's fantastic. Hook's great. Shibata's great. Brian Keith is great. All these guys are great. But as we speak right now, I've said this numerous amounts of times, Jericho right now, he's hit a wall. No pun intended. Jericho is in a position right now where he feels like he's done everything there is to do. And everything that he's doing right now just feels recycled. It feels repetitive. That's why I've said the guy needs a little bit of a break off of TV. At least, you don't need to take 8, 9, 10 months away from TV, but at least take the summer off. Take the summer off, let people miss you, and then when he comes back, it's going to feel a lot bigger than it really should be. I mean, MJF, he hasn't said a word. No one said a word on MJF, and guess what? When he comes back, he's going to get a big fucking pop. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. So that's one thing that
I'll say one thing in defense of Jericho, okay? I get what you're saying about what he's doing is repetitive. He's done it before. He should take a vacation and all that is gravy and all, but two things you're forgetting. One, he's the fucking Ocho. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. He's going to lose that title whenever the fuck he wants. But the best part about all this is he's building extreme hate right now, right? We've been trying to get Big Bill over for such a long time. Haven't really been able to do it. This is the opportunity. Let them build that hate. Let people hate and hate and hate and hate to the point where they want to see Jericho fucking die. Enter Big
Not
Bill.
resonating, man.
Enter.
Resonating.
Give it 4 or 5 months. Right now, it's not more of a hate. It's more of like an annoyance. The annoyance will turn into.
He's been at it with Hook since March. He's been at it with Hook since March.
He gets a pass for me because he's the goddamn Ocho.
Listen. I love Jericho. I do. I love Jericho.
He gets a pass.
He just needs a break.
What was the best match on Collision?
Work with Jericho personally.
What was the best match on Collision for you? That the one that people should go. Will Ospreay, I'm assuming.
Will Ospreay and Shane Taylor. That was Shane Taylor's best match on the show. But I will say this: I will give credit to Anna Jay. Not the best match on the show, but she's actually going out there and she wants to work. She's trying to get better, and she had a decent match with Serena Deeb. That is the type of talent that is going to bring better matches.
Well, dude, if you can't go out there and have a match with the teacher, Serena Deeb, I don't know what the hell you're doing in this company. I mean, did you watch Rampage? Kyle O'Reilly defeated Lee Moriarty. We had Roosh in action. Another guy. I have a short list of guys who, in my opinion, are capable of all being on the same level as far as in-ring competitors and how good they are. Roosh, Malachi Black, there's a couple. Pac. This guy needs to be on Dynamite all the time. He's phenomenal. Roosh is phenomenal. He was in action against the local talent.
Need to put him in the ring with? Put him in the ring with Okada and just let him go.
I would be so okay with that, man. And surprisingly, I was kind of shocked to hear this. Anthony Bowens takes the loss against Brian Cage. Acclaimed just stuck in some kind of shit limbo. They have no idea what to do with these guys, just swinging dicks with trios champions left and right, and then they're chasing the Bang Bang Gang. What happened to these guys being one of the most established tag teams in the world? They just disappeared from there, and they're vanished in this trios limbo, and they got Anthony Bowens losing to Brian Cage.
Listen, they're still great. By the way, this was the best match on Collision. Anthony Bowens, very underrated singles performer. If you want to go out and rewatch this match, I would encourage it.
I probably
Brian Cage needed the win. He's coming off a loss against Swerve Strickland. Brian Cage needed the win here. And the Acclaimed, listen, we all know how good the Acclaimed are, but the Acclaimed, they just got done with how many days as trios champions? Like 230 plus days. Give him a
but like nobody cared about those titles. Nobody cares, man. There isn't even any trios competition. It was cool when Death Triangle was in the mix and you had Best Friends in the mix.
Now the Bang Bang Gang is regenerating that because Bang Bang Gang, they won the title.
See, but that bothers me because I look at Jay White over here and he's another guy that should be in that conversation of that short list. Like to me, if 6 months go by and you tell me Jay White's the guy that takes the title off Swerve Strickland, I wouldn't be surprised because Jay White's that goddamn good. But here he is with these shenanigans with the Ass Boys, and this guy's a fucking main event player.
First of all, listen. First of all, the Acclaimed, getting back to them, they had a lot of time in the spotlight. Maybe it's time for them to take a little bit of a backseat because they were getting a little stale. So maybe if they want to rebuild them at some point down the line, they can. Secondly, regarding the Bang Bang Gang, listen, Jay White, at this very moment, nothing that you said was wrong. But number one, let's not discredit what the Guns can do. Let's not discredit how good the Guns are. And on top of that,
of course they're good. They were former world champions for a reason.
On top of that, you take a look at the landscape of AEW. You take a look at these champions right now, and I'm glad that you brought this up. You take a look at these champions. None of these championships are going to be changing hands anytime soon. Maybe the
Adam Copeland's done, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But let me ask you this. Listen, all right, all these guys here, they come into the business, they do their thing, they have runs, and then they have to vanish for a little bit, obviously, because people, like you said, they get stale, and then they don't want to see them anymore. But are you happy with just certain people never getting returns to pushes? For example, before COVID, Pac was on a trajectory to become world champion, in my opinion. Comes back.
I think the problem with Pac is that he's a little injury prone because he tends to get injured a lot.
Well, maybe now that 4 years went by after COVID, yeah, but yeah.
He was literally injured last year. Literally, he came back, right? He came back after an injury, and then a month later, he got injured again after he competed against Claudio at Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor last summer.
All right, let me ask you another question. We watch these matches, right? These championship matches. Why is it that a lot of these championship matches, they don't have series? For example, like somebody will lose the title and then not get a rematch.
Simply because of the fact that there is a sense of.
I just want to know if you're okay with that. Are you okay with like the no rematch clause? Like literally.
I don't mind the no rematch clause. I don't mind it. That is fine as long as they build up the former champion nicely afterwards, as long as you have something going on for the former champion afterwards. Now, regarding the lack of a series, you could have a series of matches for the championship between two guys, but the problem is that Tony Khan, and I've said this before, Tony Khan, he's doing way too much, and when you do way too much, you spread yourself thin. Certain aspects of the show are not going to get as much attention as they should.
It's crazy to me, though, because they'll have serious matches, but not for titles. Like, obviously, look what happened with Swerve Strickland, Hangman Adam Page, going to war. But there's no title involved. Back in the Attitude Era, when it was at its peak, there would be months sometimes where we would have 2 or 3 different champions in the span of a month. You know what I mean?
And that's terrible. That's a terrible.
I don't think that's always terrible because it's shocking sometimes when you see someone like when Mick Foley won the title out of nowhere. You didn't know that was coming, man. You didn't know that was coming.
Listen, that was good for that era, but things change.
But something like that would be good now if it was done correctly for the right guy.
No, you want to know why? It's because nowadays it's not about how many people hold the championship within the span of a couple of months. It's not about.
No, it's not about. I don't look at it in that like, oh, I won the
It's not
title.
about the shock value anymore. You know what it's about? It's about giving a guy a championship and giving, or girl a championship, giving a man or a woman a championship, whichever championship, and then letting them run with it to prove to you that they are good enough to run with it. There should be no such thing as a transitional title reign. Every title reign should be between 100 and 150 days because that gives you.
Listen, I'm not arguing with you like in terms of regularity. Yeah, absolutely. 2 favors I need you to do. Number 1, shut the fuck up for 1 minute so I can babble on Tom Melee. Number 2, highlight his shitty little comment right there. Highlight his shitty little comment. Do you want to know something, Tom? The only people that knew that it was coming were people that were watching WCW. I wasn't watching WCW because I didn't give a shit about WCW. So for me, Mick Foley winning the title was a fucking genuine surprise, and I loved it. It was one of those moments where you're like, holy fucking shit, what the fuck just fucking happened? And
Again,
Tony Khan, I'm not saying for them to do it. I'm not saying it for them to do it every single time, but there were certain moments. For example, when Kane beat Stone Cold in the first blood match, right? Becomes the world champion. Everyone's like, holy shit, Kane beat Stone Cold. Now, it was a fluke, granted. How badass was it that the next night on Monday Night Raw, you have these millions and millions of Stone Cold fans who are livid. They're pissed off that their guy's not the champion anymore. But you give it to them on Monday Night Raw. My man gets the title back the next night. Shitted on Kane, showed true domination. What I like about quick title changes sometimes, and when there is a quick title change, it shouldn't necessarily happen again right away for a little bit, unless there's like some kind of a way you can tell a good story. But what I like about it, Storms, is it can take a guy. All right, let's look at the scale of over. Let's say this is the top. Let's say Stone Cold's here. Okay? Kane's down here. How do we get Kane up here? How do we get Kane as a main event player?
It's simple. You have him hold the title for a long period of time.
Well, no, in that instance, they didn't do that. What they did is that they said, let him beat Stone Cold. He's going to lose it the next night anyway, but it elevates him. It's going to push him a little bit. He's not going to be near Stone Cold's level, but he'll be next to it compared to where he was last week. I'm just saying, that's that kind of move, once in a blue, it can take someone who's a star and make him a superstar, is all I'm saying.
I'm gonna throw out a piece of truth that not many people are going to like, but it's something that everyone's going to have to acknowledge here. A lot of booking decisions made during the Attitude Era were jack shit, and we became blinded by how good, quote unquote, the content was.
Listen, you're not wrong.
We did not think about anything in the long term. You're not going to bust me regarding the length of title reigns. There should be no such thing as a short title reign. Title reigns and titles should be treated with more respect. We should have legit title reigns of 100 to 150 days where you're actually giving the individual the opportunity to showcase what he or she can do from a character, promo, and most importantly, a wrestling perspective. If you can make that championship prestigious from bell to bell, then all right, we'll give you this time. And if you continue to put out these great matches and these great performances and the people want to see you, we're going to give you more time. But I didn't get to finish what I was saying regarding Jay White. You're worried about Jay White with the trios division. Listen, here's the thing. You take a look at the landscape of AEW right now, and all the major championship pictures are occupied, and more likely than not will be occupied for the next 6 to 8 months. Now, if Jay White is still in the trios division by the end of the year, going into next year, then you know what? Then we can say something, we're going to have a problem. But as we speak right now, Jay White and the Guns holding the trios championships, that is not a bad thing. That's probably the best place for Jay White right now. And Jay White, as we speak, he's getting plenty of TV time. He's winning matches clean, might I add.
I don't have a problem with watching him dominate the trios division. I just have a problem if this is going to turn out to be all he ever does. If he doesn't become a guy who takes over the division and does what he needs to do like he did in New Japan, and like what I know he's capable of, selling out a garden. By the way, have you played Figure Fighters? I have not. I don't know.
I have not. I don't play video.
We're promoting their bullshit. Here's a look at all the AEW 2024 pay-per-view that are coming up throughout the year. Forbidden Door, by the way. You going to that?
Full gear. I'll be there at Full Gear.
Are you going to Forbidden Door at the UBS Arena?
No, but I got some breaking news right here. I do. I'm not even bullshitting you. This is breaking news right here. Fightful Select has learned that MJF's return is expected by Forbidden Door.
Interesting. Okay, so I might have to get tickets for that. Then it's in my backyard. I'd be silly not to go.
There you go.
Silly not to go. And then, of course, this Sunday, May 26th, Double or Nothing 5-year anniversary. All right. I'll say this. Congratulations to Tony Khan. Most businesses open up and they don't even stay open more than a year. He's been around for 5 years. They're still going strong. He has some of the best wrestlers in the world. He's been putting on good TV for at least a good chunk of the year. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, they've given me
a roller
memories.
coaster year.
They've given me memories. I've been here for all 5 years, Storms. At the end of the day, whether I hated it, loved it, I kept coming back every Wednesday night. I've never missed a Dynamite. I watched them all. I loved it when it started, and I love it right now. So that's saying a lot.
Every show. Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, all pay-per-views.
I loved it when it started, and I love it now. That's saying a lot. There was a lot of love-hate in between those 5 years, but at the end of the day, they are the second biggest wrestling company in the world for a reason, because they started correct, and they're getting better by the year.
Now, we're going to get into King and Queen of the Ring, so if you want to, what else? We got some more slides over here before we get into King and Queen of the Ring?
This is all Double or Nothing, but we can get back to King or Queen of the Ring if you want. I don't have all the match slides for King or Queen of the Ring, but I think it's pretty obvious. I think you have to put up the upcoming events for the King of the Queen of the Ring.
Yeah, let me see. I think we have it over
a lot. Oh, look at all these signings. Oh my God, Wrestling Universe.
Yeah,
blah blah blah.
Promoting his entire fucking year. I'm telling you, people. Only on my channel here.
All right, here we go. Let's start off with who you think is going to be the King and Queen of the Ring.
So we got the King and Queen of the Ring tournament finals. It's either going to be Bianca Belair or Nia Jax versus the woman that we see here, Lyra Valkyria, in the Queen of the Ring tournament finals. I actually picked Io Sky to win it all, but
not a bad pick.
I am not going to shit on Lyra Valkyria going to the finals, and I'll tell you why. One thing that I have always criticized WWE for, rightfully so, and one of their biggest problems is the fact that they do not know how to create new stars. You can say that they're hot. You could say that they're financially successful.
Now, you could say that, but then I'll spit out a name like this. Braun Breaker, Tiffany Stratton, Carmelo Hayes.
Listen. They're not there yet. They're not at the level.
Did you just disrespect Tiffany Stratton?
Listen, she just got there, and she's been losing.
And she's already looking better than Charlotte Flair.
Listen. You didn't let me finish. Right. When I say creating new stars, I don't mean just giving them TV time. I mean giving them legitimate big wins. Listen, I'm glad that Tiffany Stratton got a showcase at Backlash, but she lost at the end of the day. She's losing big matches. Look at LA Knight. He's been losing big matches since November. Still over, but he's losing big match after big match. Lyra, on the other hand, Lyra is a new star. He brought her to the main roster. And she's a new star in the women's division, which is WWE's weakest point right now. Their women's division needs help. So if their motto is to put Lyra Valkyria in the tournament finals, make her look strong, and possibly give her the win to challenge for a women's title at SummerSlam, because that's what Triple H said the winner gets, then you know what? I'm not going to sit here and complain about that, because you're making a new star in Lyra Valkyria look very, very strong. I'm going to hand it back over to you. Who do you think is going to be fighting Lyra in the finals? I personally think it's going to be Bianca, and I would give Lyra the win.
I don't know who she's going to fight in the finals. It's hard to say, but I think she's taking the whole thing. That's why I have her face on top of that thing. I think she's the chosen one right now. She did a hell of a job in NXT. She proved that she could work big matches. She won big matches. She world champion, good run. She's coming on Raw. She's doing the same thing. Momentum. Winning matches, making statements, getting rubs by Becky Lynch, who's arguably the most popular woman superstar in the company right now, if not all time. She's up there. She's the man. And she is giving this one here the legitimate rub on TV, behind the scenes, on interviews. She's went on record to say again and again, this is the one that's going to take my place. And I just have strong feelings about it. I think Becky Lynch is going to town for this one right now to make sure she walks out of there the new Queen of the Ring, because it'd be a hell of a thing to come straight from NXT and just walk out this prestigious Queen of the Ring tournament winner.
And if she's going to get a match at SummerSlam, that's going to be a big showcase for her, And you know what? If they want to give her a loss, they can give her a loss there, because now at least she has a solid amount of wins underneath her belt, and she already has a major accomplishment underneath her belt. Establishing a new star in the women's division, that is something that I can get behind, and I really hope that they do this more often and they invest in their new stars more often instead of just putting them in big matches to lose. Put them in matches to win, build them up a little bit, put them in undercard feuds to win, rather than just throwing them in title matches and giving them losses, even if they look good. Now, on to Gunther. Gunther, he's either going to be facing Tama Tonga or Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton is going to I think Randy Orton's going to take the win, but he's not going to get past Gunther. Now, regarding Randy Orton and Gunther, big time matchup, something that I can get behind. I have no problem with this match, other than the fact that they did LA Knight dirty. They did LA Knight dirty in this tournament. LA Knight has been mega over all year, but WWE's playing a dangerous game with him. And I'm glad that they teased him and Logan Paul, so I hope that that should be a SummerSlam match. But WWE has been having LA Knight go out there, and all he's been doing since the fall, he's been losing big matches. He lost to Roman. He lost the triple threat match, or the Fatal 4-Way at the Rumble. Lost the Elimination Chamber. He beat AJ Styles at Mania, but then Styles beat him 2 weeks later on SmackDown. So how much did that victory really mean? Nothing. He wasn't even on Backlash. And then he lost to Tama Tonga in the second round. Love Tama Tonga. Tama Tonga's been presented great, but in no way, shape, or form should Tama Tonga be going over LA Knight. LA Knight should have gone to the finals. Him versus Orton in the semifinals, with LA Knight going over Orton, that would have done LA Knight better, similar to what Triple H did with the Forgotten Sons in NXT Black and Gold. When the Forgotten Sons, they made it to the finals of the Dusty Cup, and they lost to Ricochet and Malachi, then he was known as Aleister Black. But if Triple H would have done that with LA Knight, that would have been more beneficial than LA Knight losing to Tama Tonga. But I think we are both in agreement when I say Gunther is your next King of the Ring, and he will absolutely be your next World Heavyweight Champion at SummerSlam. Savage, the ball's in your court.
I have no doubt that Gunther is going to win this entire thing, but at the end of the day, I have my suspicions because the bloodline isn't something to play with. You bring this guy in, Tama, right? You got his brother there now. You got Solo there now. There's a lot riding on this new bloodline and what they're going to do. Are they going to be the new authority figure? Are they going to be dominant? What does it do for Tama to put him in this tournament if you're just going to make him lose? What does it do for the bloodline if you're putting him in this tournament just for him to lose to whether it's Randy Orton or Gunther? I get it. Randy's a top guy. But at the same day, you're trying to establish these new bloodline members as guys that are badass, guys that kick ass. And if they're just losing to whether it be Randy Orton or Gunther, then guess what? They're not that badass. So part of me says, what if they just go all out on this bloodline? And of course, you have the Solo factor, you have the brother factor, you have the Paul Heyman factor. So there's reasons to explain why Randy Orton would take a loss to Tama. And then the same thing, reasons why Gunther would take a loss. And then the bloodline comes out of this as the new King of the Ring. I don't see it happening. I see that being a long shot. I think Randy Orton is going to beat Tama Tonga on SmackDown tomorrow night. And then on Saturday, we're going to get a WrestleMania caliber match between Gunther and Randy Orton. And I just, for some reason, I can see Ludwig Kaiser getting involved, causing Randy this match somehow, some way. And I think at the same time, he's going to piss off Randy and Gunther, because I think Gunther wants to win this clean over Randy. But
Probably. But
we'll have to see.
I still have a problem with LA Knight losing. I don't think they should.
The reason I didn't even say anything about LA Knight Storms is because I think LA Knight has a very specific game plan, and that's all based on, can he stay healthy? He is in a race right now. If he can stay healthy, Storms, if he can stay healthy for at least 1 to 2 years, he's going to be
He's been healthy 4 years. He's never been injured.
I know, but we're telling Cody's story. That's what everybody wanted, right? The LaGreca crybabies and all these little bitches crying about the Cody's story.
Cody should have won last year. I'm still going to say it.
Maybe, but he didn't. He won this year, and because of that, LA Knight is on fucking pause, brother. And that's why he's going to have big matches with Logan Paul.
You know why? Because he doesn't need to be a world champion. You could have easily easily had given him the U.S. title by now. And guess what? He would have been a great U.S. champion. Matter of fact, he should have been the one to take the U.S. championship from Austin Theory last year at SummerSlam.
Well, maybe he'll be the one to take that championship off Logan Paul if Cody doesn't get it done on Saturday. Because I feel like that match, which we got to talk about, by the way, this still. First of all, what do you think is going to happen here? Yeah, I don't even want to talk about this match that much because honestly, I'm not really interested. Liv Morgan's promos.
And I know why you're not interested.
It's bad. It's bad. The promos are bad. The buildup is bad.
It's not even just that. There's one looming factor that I've been saying for weeks. Let me see if you can guess it.
What, Dom?
No, not even Dom. It has to do with Liv Morgan. What is the problem with Liv Morgan?
Been there, done that?
No, she has no credibility. You know why she has no credibility? Because all she's been doing is losing big matches this year. She lost at the Royal Rumble. She lost at the Chamber. She lost in the Women's Battle Royal. And she lost to Becky.
She's just taking credit for injuring Rhea Ripley in a freak accident. That's her.
That's why I said Liv Morgan just should have won the Battle Royal back on Raw to begin with, because no one believes that Liv Morgan is going to pin or submit Becky. And even after it happens, people still won't believe it.
The only way this gets good is if Dom gets involved and helps Liv actually not only become the champion, but then turn on Rhea Ripley at the same time, because what are you doing helping her? That's the only way I can see this storyline being saved. I don't think they're going to go that route. I think Becky's holding on to that title for a while. That's what I think.
If anything, I'm actually just fucking give it to Liv. I don't fucking care. Just fucking give it to Liv.
IC match. I'm calling Sami Zayn to retain for multiple reasons. One, he speaks the native language. He's going to be super over there. And I don't think it's the time yet for Gable. They still have a lot of storytelling left to do with Alpha Academy before he goes full heel and loses his mind. Bronson Reed, I mean, I don't know. I've seen him lose a lot of big matches he should have won. So I can't see him winning this one.
I'm glad that they made this match. I think this match could kick off the show. And I do think that this could end up being one of the best matches of the entire weekend if given the proper time. We're in agreement here. No reason
they're gonna get a lot of time. They're gonna get a lot of time.
No reason to take the title off of Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn should be holding that title going into the fall. Make that title prestigious. Give him big matches and just let him do what he does, and that is go out there and steal the fucking show every single time. One thing before we get to the main event, kind of disappointed that this match only has, or this show only has 5 matches on it. And I say that because I understand Triple H is a quality over quantity guy. I understand. However, back then when he was running NXT Black and Gold, he could get away with that. He could get away with that because their entire roster was full of credible individuals to a point where everyone on the show, no matter who you place on the show, it's a guaranteed fucking bang.
Let's be honest. When you were watching that brand, you were pretty much watching AEW's talent. No. Back then, that was better than AEW. Yeah. NXT Black and Gold was the best bell for bell wrestling era ever. My favorite, I love Bobby Roode's reign. I'm a big fan of Bobby Roode.
Even Bobby Roode. And he's not that crazy of a pro wrestler, but that dude was putting on fucking bangers in NXT.
Bangers. Yeah, everything he did with Shinsuke Nakamura, Kevin Owens, killed it with Sami Zayn. There was a lot going on.
Yes. But in this era of pro wrestling, give me at least 6 or 7 matches. Give me a little bit.
Well, I think we're gonna get a surprise. I think we're gonna get a surprise impromptu match. And don't forget, we still have SmackDown on Friday night. I'm sure they're gonna set up a match on Friday because, like you said, this card, I don't even think there's 5 matches. I think there's 4. I don't even know what the 5th match is. I only see
5 matches. 5 matches.
What's the 5th match? Because I only have 4 cards.
This is the 5th match.
No. There's the King of the the King of the Queen of the Ring of 2 matches. Yep. I got you. Okay. Go back. So main event. Yeah. We all know Spencer Slade. He's gonna beat Cody Rhodes one day. One day, Spencer's coming for all of Cody's blood.
Don't shortchange Spencer Slade.
Spencer Slade will make Cody Rhodes bleed like a stupid little bitch. But in the meantime, Logan Paul, all the gold is on the line. What are we gonna see here?
No, all the gold is not on the line. It's only for Cody's title.
I thought the United States was on the line. It's not on the line?
No. So I'll tell you what happened.
Because the father, his lawyer came out, his uncle, right?
But you know why they did this? Do you know why they changed the match?
Oh, it makes sense because now I can definitely see LA Knight beating Logan Paul at SummerSlam for the United States title.
But they know they fucked up. They fucked up when they made the match title for title initially. I guarantee you, I would bet money that it was supposed to be title for title, but they saw some backlash and people saying, why are you over pushing Cody? Match makes no sense. So they only made it for Cody's title because as we speak right now, Cody Rhodes doesn't fucking need the U.S. title.
I agree. I'm with it. But he's
WWE
still
fucked
gonna.
up
Does he even need the win over Logan Paul? No. But you know what? I'll
No.
say this: I'm actually happy for Cody Rhodes. In some ways, this is the biggest match of his career because listen, he's going against the most famous YouTuber on earth. Basically, this guy's got a huge following. We have an opportunity here to show a lot of fans who are not wrestling fans; they're Logan Paul fans. But we have an opportunity to show all those Logan Paul fans, hey, this is our top guy. And he just kicked your guy's ass. You might want to watch him.
Pretty much. Logan Paul is taking the loss here. Match didn't make any sense from the beginning, but I have my faith and confidence in Cody Rhodes that he is going to deliver one hell of a match with Logan Paul. He did the same thing with AJ Styles, and the match with AJ Styles had absolutely zero heat going into it. That was probably one of WWE's best matches all year.
Yeah, no, listen, Logan Paul has been doing nothing but impressing me for a long time now, man. I mean, I've been nothing but impressed with Logan Paul. He shows that he has everything that a WWE superstar needs to have. He's got charisma. He's got natural character. All right. He plays himself basically, and he does it very well. He's used to it. He's used to being on camera. He's been doing it since he was 16 years old, making vlogs and taking over the fucking world one subscriber at a time, turning himself into a self-made success. Controversy along the way. Well, I don't want to discuss the controversy that he's had over the years because he's done a lot to get away from all that. And look at him now, doing pretty well for himself. Not to mention that, don't forget this, Storms. There's a possibility maybe we see his brother there. There's a possibility maybe we see Mike Tyson there. Mike Tyson is a WWE Hall of Famer.
We do not need MMA in WWE, but if Jake Paul is half the wrestler that his brother is, then you know what? I wouldn't mind him on TV.
I wouldn't mind him either. I think you're going to see them be tag team champions of the world one day when, you know, his course runs out in boxing. Yeah, let's not get into the Mike Tyson fight because if that fight's real, I think Jake Paul is going to have a funeral. But, you know.
Yeah. He's going up to meet the big guy in the sky.
Yeah. So whenever you're ready, I guess we can move on over to Double or Nothing if you got nothing else on this one.
Well, before we get into Double or Nothing, let's take a little break here. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, thank you everyone for jumping on in. Thank you very much to James Punaseca, Tom Melee, John Glisher, Mick.
John, first of all, it's John Gilcher. All right. That's my business partner. Yeah. John Gilcher. He's a good guy.
John Gilcher. John Blaine as well. Shout out to John Blaine.
John Blaine. He's going to do a good job at the ECW Arena. New lead commentator.
Good shit himself. Shout out to Robert King, Greg John as well. If you're not watching on YouTube, go watch on YouTube. Get those super chats in there. Get those super stickers in there. Get those super thanks in there. Get those channel memberships in there. Subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to my channel. Why don't we go over to the little sample of the Party with Marty podcast that you got going on?
I'll set that up if you want. I'll set that up later tonight as soon as this show ends or a little after. 10 p.m. Eastern, exactly. Hypothetically, every week, the best podcast of all time, The Party with Marty, the official podcast of Marty Jannetty. And tonight we have a special guest. Al Snow will be on for about an hour and a half. And there's a lot to talk about. You're going to hear some stories, even stories that you've never heard of before. You're going to hear a couple of Owen Hart stories you never heard before. You might hear a couple of Vince McMahon stories you never heard before. You're not going to want to miss it live on The Party with Marty. Show them the little sample.
There we go.
You go full screen. Let them get the full screen.
Oh, absolutely. Give me one.
And make sure you rewind it too. Come on, Storms.
Oh, absolutely.
First, hypothetically, the best co-host in the world ever, Savage, Greek Savage.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, all right, we bringing our boy in, right?
I'm not going to waste it. I'm not going to waste
There he is.
There we are. Yes, we're partying with Marty, and
how you doing, bro?
If I were any better, I'd be jealous of myself. That's how awesome I'm
If
doing.
you was anybody said being better.
Thank you for having me on the show, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being on it.
No, it's awesome.
I'm gonna give you two a little alone time, and then I'll come in heavy with the slides and the videos, and we'll have fun.
You'll come in heavy.
Heavy with the.
He did say heavy.
How's your
Hey,
foot?
do I look like a rhinoceros?
Kind of a little bit horny. Yeah,
A little horny.
Yeah. It's a little psychedelic with all the lights around your neck and everything. You're like,
Oh yeah.
like
Okay, that was just for the opening.
yeah. You can leave them on. You kind of look like a really hip Christmas tree.
Hold on.
Oh yeah. Now
No,
your head's so big you can't get it off there.
stop here. It wasn't. That's not what it was.
How's your foot?
I think it's getting better.
Really?
Yeah.
Were they able to get all the infection out finally?
Say again.
Were they able to get all the infection out finally?
Cut it off there. We cut it off there because if you want to know the answer to that and many, many more questions, you're going to have to tune in tonight at 10 o'clock. Marty Jannetty should be in the chat. Ask a legend a question. Have a good time.
Marty Jannetty is the absolute man. Very nice guy as well. And yes, he was looking like a rhinoceros a little bit there. Looks like Al Snow. He's got some jokes. So if you guys want some light comedy in there, go watch the Party with Marty podcast with special guest star Al Snow, because Al Snow is a fucking beast at what he does. But we're going to get into some AEW material. We went through everything going down at King and Queen of the Ring. If you guys have your own predictions on what's going down at King and Queen of the Ring, drop them in the chat. Drop them in the chat right now. But why don't we get into the AEW material? Savage, why don't you work the slideshow over here?
Gotcha, man. So we had Dynamite. We can give them a quick recap. All right, Orange Cassidy, Will Ospreay yesterday. What did you think about this matchup?
Fun match. Doesn't bode well for Trent or Roderick Strong as the heels took the win here. Even though Ospreay and Roderick Strong is unpredictable, I do think that Roderick Strong really sealed his fate in that match. But fun match, probably one of the better matches on the show. And Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay take the win there.
I always have a good time anytime I see Roderick Strong get an opportunity to showcase his true abilities as a professional wrestler, because he truly is one of the best pound-for-pound guys in the world. I think he can go in the ring with Bryan Danielson, Will Ospreay, Pac, any of these guys, and put on a banger on any given night. And we'll talk about his match a little later. Takeshita, one of my absolute favorite wrestlers, took on Matt Sydal, and I love Takeshita. I mean, to me, this is a guy who is a future world champion. That's all I'm going to say. What do you think about this matchup? By the way, did you know Matt Sydal was Evan Bourne?
Oh, yes, of course I did.
Fucking
he looks
crazy,
like him.
Man.
Now, regarding this match, I very much respect both men, but this match really wasn't necessary. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, Dynamite felt a little over-cluttered, kind of like Collision and Rampage. Again, kind of screwed up the good streak of TV that they were on. That we did have some good material, I will say that, but it did feel a little over-cluttered. It didn't feel as energetic as it should have been. If anything, I would have loved to have heard a promo between Don Callis and Jon Moxley to really hype up that match. Now, I love Takeshita. I don't think he's taking the win. I do not think that he's going to be taking the win on Sunday. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to the Double or Nothing predictions. But I have a bold prediction. I do believe that Konosuke Takeshita could be the guy to take the TNT title from Adam Copeland.
Okay, maybe, but I'll say this: Takeshita is one of the greatest workers in the business right now. Probably the best Japanese wrestler I've ever seen in my life. 6'4", absolute stud. His body movement, his body language. And I'll say this about Don Callis: Don Callis should be doing a full-fledged promo once a month minimum, because that guy is fucking gold every time he touches the mic or commentary.
Brilliant.
Now you want to talk about a clusterfuck? You want to talk about why everything felt so jam-packed up the ass yesterday? Because they had to make fucking 10 minutes of fucking video package time for this bullshit. I love Willow Nightingale. I think she's one of the hardest working women in the world today of professional wrestling. She's been doing her best to make a name for herself, to get over with the fans, to resonate with them, to get their love. And then here comes fucking overpaid Mercedes Moné coming and taking all of Tony Khan's money so she can wrestle fucking 4 or 5 times a year. And we know she's going to beat Willow Nightingale. God damn it. And it's pissing me off because I don't think Willow deserves that. I know you got something for that. Why don't we save that for when we talk about their stupid match?
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
All right. And then you have the triple threat here, right? For the qualifier.
Didn't need to happen. Didn't need to happen.
Yeah, another oversaturation match. Didn't need to happen for sure, but we know what happened, right? We got two winners here now. I believe Hook and Shibata both made Brian Keith tap out, and now they're both going to get to fight Jericho, who went on to say, I am never losing this title. Let's see if that's true.
Oh, by the way, happy birthday to Malachi Black from yesterday. Malachi is awesome.
Yes, he is awesome, man. Another guy on that short list. Swerve Strickland taking on Nick Wayne. This should have been the main event. I know why they didn't make it the main event, because they wanted to have that big theatrical ending that they ended up having. But this was a great match and a good look into the future of the business. If you watched this match yesterday, you clearly saw Nick Wayne is on another level.
It was solid. I will say that it was solid. However, what happened after the match was the real meat and potatoes. And even though this show was oversaturated, I got to give Tony Khan a lot of credit here. And I got to give also Swerve and Christian a lot of credit. Their matchup has been built up perfectly. Every single week when we had something on the show regarding Swerve and Christian, they did very, very solid work with each other, whether it be in a promo, whether it be in a brawl, whether it be in some form of an attack, whether it be the segment last night with Prince Nana stopping Christian Cage from driving away and Swerve pulling Christian out of the car. Match was built up all month as Swerve's first big opponent, and they built it up very, very nicely. Probably the best built match going into Double or Nothing. And for everyone that's wondering, well, why is Swerve getting beaten down by Christian all the time? There's only one reason why. The only reason why is because they're trying to make it a little unpredictable and make you think that Christian is going to beat Swerve, when in reality, we all know he's not. And Swerve is going to be taking the win because Swerve right now is their top priority, and Swerve should be holding that championship going into the fall. That is the only reason why Swerve has been getting beaten down. But it's not like he's looking weak, because he's not getting beaten down by one man. He's getting beaten down by 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys at once. And
they're making him the hero. His whole team turned on him. I'm surprised Prince Nana hasn't fucking turned on him.
And he's not losing matches clean as champion, so he's not necessarily looking weak.
No, listen, they've done the perfect job with Swerve and Christian. I am the right amount of excited about this match. Looking forward to it. It's one of the better built-up matches. I kind of have we'll talk more when we get into that. Orange Cassidy, Will Ospreay, right? We did that already. The Bang Bang Gang. I think we kind of covered them earlier.
No, we did not cover what happened. Jay White, he's doing his thing in the trios division, and we got a big-time matchup at Double or Nothing, and it looks like the trios world championships are finally starting to get some showcase like they were when they were on the House of Black. They beat the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass in a great match on the buy-in for Dynasty. They had a very good match with Top Flight and Action Andretti on Collision, and now we got another big-time matchup with the Death Triangle going down at Double or Nothing. And for anyone that's complaining about Jay White being stuck in the trios division, look at what he's doing for the trios division. And he's world trios champions, winning clean every week. And above all else, we're getting Jay White and Pac in the same ring together at Double or Nothing. And you're fucking complaining about that?
No, I'm not complaining about that. I'm not complaining about that. I got to say this about Pac and Death Triangle. They looked better than they ever have. Ray Phoenix looked like he was more jacked up than I've ever seen him. If you watch the intro carefully, they came out, they flexed, intimidating. This will be a big win for the Bang Bang Gang if they can pull through. But I have a feeling the Acclaim's going to get involved and some shenanigans are going to happen. I don't think we're going to get a clean finish on that one. Tony Storm, Mariah May taking out Saraya. Saraya's first match in 3 months. Harley Cameron as her teammate. What did you think about Saraya after 3 months of no action?
I don't know why that they had her out of the ring. I'm not going to say that she's one of the best, but I mean, she's not bad at all. You put her in the ring, she'll give you a semi-decent match when she's paired with the right talent. Now, I don't know where the fuck Harley Cameron's going to go, but I give her credit. She ain't a bad wrestler. She ain't a bad wrestler at all.
I'm more impressed.
A lot worse.
Listen, Toni Storm is obviously the best female champion in the world of wrestling right now, right? I even think she's a better women's champion than anything WWE has right now.
I don't know. Athena may have a rebuttal to that.
I don't think so. Listen, Toni Storm's work in the vignettes and then combining the vignettes with walking down the ramp, working with the wrestlers, her promos, her timing, and then, of course, the matches themselves. turning it on as soon as the bell rings and that viciousness comes out. I love it. I love Tony Storm right now, but I gotta say, I also love Mariah May. I think Mariah May has shocked me. I never could have told you this when I first saw her, that she would turn out. I never thought I would. When she first came out, I thought she was just going to be like a camera piece. You know, she looks good on TV. She'll come out, do a couple of things, help this, help that. She's ended up becoming one of my favorite performers on TV.
She hits hard, dude. Like she doesn't just look like a fucking Barbie doll. She can fucking kick your ass.
Those drop kicks she does them with evil intent, and I'm a fan of every single one of it. I can't wait to see where her career goes, and I'm looking forward to the day she turns on Tony Storm. Who knows? Mariah May could be that next huge superstar in the making. She is riding the coattails of the champion for a reason. We'll find out what that reason is as time goes on. Good match nonetheless. I was happy with it. Kyle O'Reilly versus Malachi Black. I loved it. I thought it was great, short, sweet, needed to do exactly what it needed to do. Malachi Black with that knockout fucking kick. And then, of course, what Adam Copeland did.
They held back in this match.
They had to. Time restraint. They had to.
I don't think it was time restraints.
I don't think it was time restraint. Look at the
I don't think it was time restraint. They went overtime. I don't think it was time restraints. I know why they held back. It's because Malachi's got a big match on Sunday, which I understand, but still a solid match. I wouldn't necessarily say great, but it was solid. Malachi got the win.
I only say great because of the finish. The finish looks so goddamn legitimate that when I see a finish like that just translates over so well to the point where like you really believe this guy just got knocked out. You know, I'm a big fan of that. It makes me really love the match even more. This was a fun match. I'm not going to say great match, but it was a great finish. And then what we got after was a treat as well, because we got to peek into what Adam Copeland is going to become. He's becoming what he's already been. The guy is an OG, member of the Brood, the original Gangrel, vampire, blood-sucking, life-feeding, soul-stealing, corpse-digging, fucking demon Adam Copeland. Malachi Black has no fucking idea how deep Adam Copeland can go. But That's going to be one hell of a match. Gave us a little peek last night. I'm hyped for this match. I'm almost as hyped. You know what? I'll say it. I'm just excited about the main event as I am about this match, all right, between Adam Copeland and Malachi Black. Well done, well built.
I would say that there's 5 matches on this show that I got my eye on. It's the Anarchy in the Arena,
that's
Swerve and Christian, Ospreay and Roderick Strong, Malachi and Copeland, and Takeshita and Jon Moxley.
It's kind of hard to say what's going to be match of the night because any one of those matches you just said could legitimately steal the show, be match of the night. I'm going to have to kind of lean towards Roderick Strong and Will Ospreay as far as like that classic traditional wrestling match. Those guys are about to go do some wrestling. You know what I mean? All the other matches, you know, we're going to see crazy shit, hardcore this, hardcore that, blood this. The Will Ospreay and the Roderick Strong match, we are going to see some wrestling.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Bryan Danielson main event. Another shocker to me. I was shocked that this was the main event, but I was telling Jay, I said, listen, man, Santam Singh in this opportunity right here, this is by far the biggest opportunity in the history of this man's wrestling career.
And it ended in a DQ.
You're taking on one of the GOATs. Yes, it did end in a DQ, and they ended up beating the shit out of Bryan Danielson. Darby Allin took forever to come out, but when he did come out, he made an impression. He came out, and that shit looked like a scene out of Grand Theft fucking Auto. My man came out with I thought he had a gun at first. I'm like, he's about to shoot everybody, man. He's turned into a shooter, but he had a flamethrower. And, you know, nobody got burned alive. Bully Ray was very excited. Bully Ray was loving that shit. He's like, oh, shit, someone's about to get lit on fire.
The ending of the show was easily the best thing on the show.
Yes.
We didn't need the match.
Okay, that's fair. We heard from Jon Moxley. He ended up coming out and just knocking out somebody.
He fucking bashed Takeshita in the head with a mic.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I thought we were going to get a whole promo. It ended up being pretty good. He just came out, hit him in the head. It was probably Moxley's best promo of the year.
Yeah, just stick a guy in the head with a fucking microphone. Look
at him. Fucking guy. I bet CM Punk misses AEW right now, right?
I mean, listen, I don't know what the fuck's going through his head, but whatever.
Here's a look at all the upcoming matches. We might be missing one match on this card. I think we got them all.
I think we're missing
the Hook match.
We're missing 2.
We're missing the Hook match with Jericho, and what else are we missing?
And Shibata, and then we're missing Then we're missing Death Triangle and Bullet Club Gold. But
Yeah,
either way,
both those matches were pretty much just announced yesterday. So
we're gonna go over everything. Why don't we start going over everything we got over here? So let's go over the Death Triangle and Bullet Club Gold match. I'm very happy that they made this match, and it gives me hope that they're starting to put a little bit more focus on the Trios Championships, especially now that they're on Bullet Club Gold. They're on TV consistently. Very, very happy about that. And I'm glad that Pac is not just going away after the match with Okada, and they're actually putting him in major storylines. So that is something that I cannot shit on. This is going to be a very entertaining match. If they want to kick off the show with this match, I would not mind. And in the end,
it could kick off the show. Do we know what the pre-show matches are just yet?
No, we do not. If anything, I wouldn't mind it being on the pre-show because it makes the pre-show feel more important. And that's one of the things that I always preach about a pay-per-view. Whether it's the main event or the fucking pre-show, make everything feel important. Give people a reason to watch everything. And I'm glad that they did that with the Dynasty pre-show, because the Dynasty pre-show, that was a solid pre-show.
Well, as I'm looking at all these matches on the screen right now, I kind of think the two matches that aren't on here are going to be the ones that end up being in the pre-show, ironically. So I think you are going to get that, Bang Bang Gang and Death Triangle in the pre-show, and you're going to get Hook, Shibata, and Chris Jericho in the pre-show. And that means, they both get about half an hour to go. And we might get some surprising action out of it, to be honest.
And I'm also going to throw this out there. On paper, this looks like the best Double or Nothing that they've ever done.
On paper right now, the only reason I would object to that is because there is no MJF in the card. But yes, on paper right now, this is a pretty stacked card. Very good matches. The first match of Mercedes Moné, classic wrestling match between Strong and Ospreay. But I think Gang, what are they called? The Bang Bang Gang. Yeah, they're going to retain, bro. I don't see Death Triangle beating them. But I wouldn't hate it if Death Triangle did, because like I mentioned earlier in the show, like, when are they going to put Pac back on that, like, road to success? Maybe it starts now with winning the Trios title, getting them back to where they used to be. It could happen. Was Tony Khan going to pull the trigger? I don't think so. I think he's going to let Jay White do his thing for a while.
Yeah, I would have Jay White do his thing, mainly because Jay White right now, he had a feud with MJF, and he was in the Continental Classic. He lost both of them. So right now, this is probably the best route for him. As long as he's on TV, he's winning matches clean, he's a champion, he's getting put in big-time matches with big-time people, which he is. At the end of the day, can't really shit on that.
No, you're not wrong. Listen, like you said, they can't just throw him in the world title picture right now. They got it, but they still got to make him look good. And this is the other best way to do it, because he runs this whole division. He has his own team. He looks like a leader. He looks like a boss. He's carrying gold. He's talking shit.
And the Guns look good too. He's making the Guns look good.
Listen, the Guns are great. They're one of the best young tag teams in the business today. And, long term, they're going to go down as one of the greatest tag teams when it's all said and done. It's just something I really believe in.
I think we are Bang Bang Gang across the board here.
Yes.
Let's go to Chris Jericho and Hook and Katsuyori Shibata, triple threat match for the World Championship, as Chris Jericho is calling it. Listen, a triple threat match, a lot better than a standard one-on-one match, but if there was one match that doesn't really need to be on the show, I've already talked about how Jericho's just not resonating right now. Hook's great, Jericho's great, Shibata's great. It's just not resonating. I think we need to give Hook the championship back, and we need to have him retire the FTW championship, and Jericho takes the summer off. That would be beneficial to Jericho, to Hook, to AEW TV as a whole, because it's just not resonating right now. Again,
I'll tell you the same thing I told Chris Jericho last night in a message on Instagram. He made a post saying, and I went on Dynamite, said, I'm never going to lose this title. And I said, Jericho, I really hope that's fucking true. I hope you don't lose this title till you're 80 fucking years old. Fuck everyone. Fuck the world. You're the GOAT. Ocho out.
Well, we'll see what happens. As of right now, I mean, he's pretty determined. He's got the redwood.
Jericho's headed towards Ric Flair status in like 7 more years, dude. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? He's been doing this shit for a while.
30 plus years.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it really is crazy that he's been doing it this long. And I know you want him to take a vacation. And don't worry, he will. The Jericho Cruise coming up soon. At least they take at least 4 days off.
Timeless Tony Storm and Serena Deeb, AEW Women's World Championship. Now, The first half of Tony's title reign, very disappointing. Matter of fact, they did not give her a lot to work with. I don't know what was going on. I don't know why.
No roster. They didn't have
No. They got a roster, dude. They got a roster. They got a lot of women's. The women's.
When she first won the title, when they first won the title, I think they didn't really have a lot of options, brother.
Oh, they had a lot of options. You want to know what the problem was? They were having her push the character narrative way too much. They were pushing the character narrative way too much, when in reality, you should be putting the wrestling first, because in 2024, it's about the wrestling first. You put the wrestling first, you're ultimately going to end up getting something.
That's not always true, because at the end of the day, this is sports entertainment, and she does come from the land of sports entertainers. And although it wasn't translating to you in the first few months, she's obviously over as fuck right now. The fans are cheering it. They're loving it.
Sports entertainment is a farce. It's a complete farce. It's a sham.
Not at all. First of all, sports entertainment was created by one named Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And the reason he did this is because when he changed it to entertainment, he saved himself about, I don't know, $4 or $5 million a year in taxes, because he no longer had to pay these tax breaks for like wrestling and fighting. That's why it was changed to entertainment in the first place. It wasn't just because of the lawsuit, because the lawsuit happened and then Vince said, shit, I don't want to lose my name. But then his lawyer told him, hey, you might want to change your name, because if you put the word entertainment in your name, now you can get away from all these New York and state athletic commissions. All these people want to tax you on all these matches that you have, because they put it and they list it as a fight. Once they changed it to entertainment, Vince no longer had to pay all these different fees. That's why he said, you know what? Fuck the lawsuit. We're WWE, baby.
It's still bullshit.
Hey.
It's still bullshit.
Is it bullshit though? Because listen, if you think about it, do you remember the catchphrase from the 80s? WWF, the leading force in sports entertainment. And they were saying it before the lawsuit.
Who cares, dude? Who cares? I don't care what happened in the fucking 90s. I care about what happens now.
Chris Jericho
wasn't even alive in 1994. Wasn't even alive.
At least that's a fair fucking argument then.
At the end of the day, you put pro wrestling first, you end up with something good that resonates through the TV. Not saying you can't have a character, but when it comes down to it all, it's pro wrestling first in 2024, and that should be
maybe. But characters are what make money, though. And money is what makes the a possibility of having more wrestling, more matches. The more money we make, the more shows we can run. We need characters like Undertaker, who said that not only the great.
You want to know what makes money? There's only one thing that makes money. Money is made in this era by how much you market and promote the show. Because by default, the more you market, the more people know about it. The more people know about it.
That's all true. But people still have to fall in love with the character in order to pay money for a T-shirt, for a toy, for a character in a video game.
And the more that you promote something, dude, 90% of what WWE's been putting on this year has been dog shit. Why have they been selling out? Because they know how to fucking market. AEW
doesn't know how to 99%. They've been pulling on a lot of triggers this year.
Outside of Elimination Chamber, Wrestling.
No.
This month was a great month for WWE. But January to April, majority of what we saw was dog shit.
What do you mean? We got CM Punk back. We got him in the Royal Rumble. Then he got hurt. It was all good shit.
It has nothing to do with Punk. You don't need Punk to put on a good show.
Maybe, but we had Braun Breaker, we had Gunther, we had LA Knight put it on.
Yeah, and that's it. That's all the good shit.
We had Dragunov. Come on, Dragunov is known as one of the best wrestlers in the world because of the work he did this year.
Dragunov just got to WWE's main roster, and I did say May was their best month of the year so far. The shows this month have been great. The shows prior to WrestleMania and then going into the draft were shit.
And you showed that the final boss on was money.
Rock sucks, dude.
Come on, God damn it, Papa Tui.
He hogged the whole build to WrestleMania.
Good for him, as he should. He's the fucking man.
He's garbage.
All right, what match are we on? You're Tony Storm, Serena Deeb. This is a no-brainer. We know Tony Storm is going to retain.
But I was going to say, for the first half of Tony's title reign, it was shit because they were focusing way too much on the gimmick, not enough on the wrestling ability. Now they found the perfect balance between her character and the in-ring ability. And since she had that match with Azumi on Collision, she's been putting on bangers with everyone. Anna Jay and Thunder Rosa, and now she's going to do the same with Serena Deeb. These are the types of matches that Tony should be having, and if she keeps this up, she may as well be considered the best AEW Women's World Champion to date so far. This is going to be a very, very good women's wrestling match, and Toni Storm will be taking it. She is going to retain the AEW Women's World Championship as she should, because right now she is the best woman on the AEW roster.
I can't argue with you, and I'll go as far to say she's also the best character in all of women's pro wrestling right now. She's killing it.
Now that's a no-brainer. Now, where does Serena Deeb go? Can you see Serena Deeb potentially going after the TBS championship?
Listen, what I'd like to see her here is I'd like to see Serena Deeb continue to go after Toni Storm. I think if they take Serena Deeb seriously, she can be a champion. She can be someone that can put on banger matches. The problem is, can she get fans? Can she get the fans behind her? That's what's probably going to stop Serena Deeb from having success in AEW. If she can't get the fans behind her, cheering for her, buying merch for her, she's not winning any fucking title, Storms.
You know what the problem is? She's better as a heel. She's better as a heel.
Can't argue there.
You're not going to sell Serena Deeb as a babyface. Thunder Rosa's a babyface. Serena Deeb's not a babyface. She's a heel.
Okay, fair. Well, I guess it's going to base, we'll have to base that on if Tony Khan's going to pull the trigger on her being a heel. And then, of course, how do you make her a heel? How is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? If it's going to happen. I guess we'll have to wait and see what Tony Khan's going to do with Serena Deeb.
I don't think that Serena Deeb is going to be continuing to go after Tony, because I do believe that based on what we've been seeing the last couple weeks, Mina Shirakawa, she's been fighting for the quote-unquote affection of Mariah May. Looks like Mina Shirakawa from Stardom is going to be Toni Storm's opponent at Forbidden Door.
Interesting. Well, Forbidden Door, they have to work with somebody outside the box so they can make it unique for that experience.
Mm-hmm. Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta. Here's the problem that I have with this. Who exactly is the babyface and who exactly is the heel? That's what I don't understand.
I don't think you're going to get that answer till the end of the match.
Yeah, that's the problem. The problem wasn't how it was initially. Initially, the story was simple to follow. Initially, all right, Trent Beretta's attacking Orange Cassidy because Trent Beretta feels slighted because Orange Cassidy's getting all the fucking glory. He's getting the t-shirts and the big matches and all of the spotlight. Meanwhile, Trent Beretta gets fucking nothing after he was the one that brought Orange Cassidy into AEW. Fine. But then we get to May, and now Orange Cassidy's leaving with Don Callis. Intriguing. Sure, you could say it's a little intriguing.
More than intriguing, it's good shit if it goes true. If it becomes true, if Don Callis can be the one that cracks Orange Cassidy's character, gets rid of this whole, hands in the pocket, I would love to see Orange Cassidy come out on Sunday night with a whole new demeanor and show us that you're more than just the character that you've built over the last 5 years. Give us something else. Show us that you can be like a Chris Jericho and just change at the drop of a dime. Bring me a new character on Sunday, and I think Orange Cassidy not only wins this match, but he will be a future world champion if he comes out with a serious persona, followed by Don Callis.
Probably. Listen, you may be right, but he's turning heel on a heel. It doesn't really make too much sense. You got a guy who's a babyface turning heel on a heel. It would have made a lot more sense if Don Callis was in the ear of Trent Beretta.
But this could be a good way to get Trent Beretta some babyface time, though.
Listen, if this is the end of Orange Cassidy's babyface run and they want to experiment, that I don't have a problem with. But you can't really experiment on a heel if you're a babyface turning heel. Then it begs the question, well, who are we supposed to root for? It's confusing.
But confusing is good, though. Sometimes the best things in life are confusing because that's what makes you sit there and really think about what's going on here. Is Orange Cassidy the bad guy? Is Trent Beretta the bad guy? Who's telling the truth? Is Trent Beretta the douchebag? Or is Trent Beretta correct about Orange Cassidy just being a selfish, egotistical piece of shit? Everybody thinks he's this cool guy and he's so nice and this, but maybe really Orange Cassidy's a fucking piece of shit. Maybe he's the one that's really a fucking heel, but he's been playing that baby face, eating up to the fans, and Trent Beretta's fucking sick of it. Maybe Trent Beretta's been the victim in all this. Maybe Trent Beretta's been sitting in the shade of an Orange Cassidy over the last few years, and he's sick of it. So yeah, he's a heel now because everybody loves Orange Cassidy, but that's because they don't know Orange Cassidy.
It would have been a lot better if they had a baby face in there to go against Orange Cassidy, and I mean a strong baby face, but I don't know.
I'll say this, bro. I'm rarely intrigued by an Orange Cassidy storyline. They got me hook, line, and sinker with this one, brother. I need to know what's
Cassidy's
gonna
always
happen.
been great.
He has, but I can't take him serious over these last few years. I can't. I just can't.
Who cares about the hands in the pockets? The guy's one of the best wrestlers in the world.
I can't. I'm coming from a guy that trained with Jimmy Snuka and Devon Dudley, man. I'd see that shit. I'd see disrespect. But that's how I look at it.
God.
But
Get out of the 90s.
I'll say this. That hatred that I had for him only lasted about 2.5 years. Because over the last year and a half, 2 years, hey, man, what do you want from me? He earned it, though. I respect the guy now. I respect his work. I respect his hustle. And he had his character. He had his gimmick. And he locked in on it. And he was dedicated to it. And he mastered it. Obviously, he had the most views on YouTube out of any AEW superstar, even surpassing CM Punk and Darby Allin. That's impressive. You don't do that unless you're over. So at the end of the day, no matter what I say, what he says, she says, that motherfucker's over.
We'll see what happens, but I think that Orange Cassidy will be taking the win, and he will be joining up with the Don Callis family. We'll see how that plays out. Although, listen, I do have my reservations because the guy, he's a great babyface. He's probably one of their best homegrown talents right behind MJF. But we'll see how he turns out if he does turn heel. Roderick Strong and Will Ospreay, AEW International Championship. This match, I will say, is probably the most unpredictable match on the show. They could go either way with this. And I say that because there's a chance we could see the Don Callis family turn on Will Ospreay, and we could very well see Roderick Strong retain. Well, Will Ospreay, he goes into a feud with the Don Callis family going into the summer. I wouldn't mind that. Now, I kind of wish Roderick Strong would get a little bit more time because I think Roderick Strong's fucking fantastic, and they haven't really given him much to work with outside of that very good match that he had with O'Reilly back at Dynasty. But he's in there with Will Ospreay. He's going to put on a fucking banger. I'm guessing this is AEW's way of making sure Will Ospreay is not in line to be fighting Swerve at All In, because Swerve deserves a lot more than just a 4.5-month reign as world champion. He deserves at least 200, and he should be going into the Tacoma Dome at WrestleDream with the AEW World Championship.
Actually, I think Swerve deserves a full year, man. First African-American champion, and he did it organically, natural, got over, best theme song in the game right now. Great move set, killer finisher, makes everything look good, hard-working dude. We'll see if that happens. But as far as this match goes, we are going to see here an absolute clinic from the beginning of the match to the end. I am praying to God we get a clean finish. I don't care who wins because I love both of these guys, but I have to think Will Ospreay's like on the super baby face train right now. I have to think that Will Ospreay, they're going to throw that title at him as fast as they fucking can to, like you said, keep him away from a Swerve Strickland, keep him away from the heavyweight championship picture, and have a good run as the international champion. But at the same time, they've been putting over the kingdom for so long now, the undisputed kingdom. It's kind of hard to think that Will Ospreay has a shot to win this match. He's got Don Callis looming. You could have Wardlow out there. You could have the kingdom looming out there. For Christ's sakes, Adam Cole could come back and cause some shenanigans. Like you said, this is definitely a match where you might want to just expect the unexpected. But if I have to bet on it, I'm going to bet on Bruv, Will Ospreay.
I'm taking the Bruv as well.
I'm putting the money on the guy on the horse, man. At the end of the day, when you go to the racetrack, you put your money on the strongest horse. And right now, Will Ospreay, as much as I love Roderick Strong, Will Ospreay is that thoroughbred.
Absolutely, man. I'm gonna have to go with Will Ospreay as well. I think that Will Ospreay, he just has it. He just has it, and they're looking to put a championship on him. He's been winning matches. He's been undefeated, and he's earned himself a championship match. So now they're going to give it to him. And I think that Roderick Strong may unfortunately have to take a back seat. I'm hoping that this means that we're going to have MJF coming back, and finally we can actually give some purpose to the Undisputed Kingdom, because people, they've been shitting on the Undisputed Kingdom here and there. Listen, it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's not AEW's fault. It's not Adam Cole's fault. It's not Wardlow, not the Kingdom, not Roddy.
Listen, card number one rule in wrestling, card subject to change.
It's not even that. Not even that. It's not.
MJF got hurt. The whole storyline went to shit.
It's not even. It's well, yeah, because MJF got hurt. That's the whole reason. Because the whole reason why Undisputed Kingdom feels just bland is because every great heel needs a great babyface. I talked about this shit with the Bloodline back in 2022. Back in 2022, when Roman Reigns was like halfway through his title reign, him and the Usos, they were fucking stale as shit coming out of WrestleMania 38.
Yeah, I was bored with the whole Sami Zayn and all that. Like,
exactly.
Let's not relive the Usology. I wasn't Usi with it. I didn't care about any of it.
Well, at the end of the day, you may not have cared about it, but
it was over. It was over.
Exactly. Sami Zayn made the Bloodline relevant again, because before Sami, the Bloodline had no top baby faces to be the yin to their yang. Sami came in, he was the yin to their yang. MJF was going to be the yin to the Undisputed Kingdom's yang. Didn't work because he got hurt. He tore his labrum.
Still time to fix that. We'll see what they're going to do at Forbidden Door with that, if MJF's going to come back and have something to say. But nonetheless,
I hope he does come back.
This match is probably going to steal the show, so make sure you're watching. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled and try not to blink because you might miss it.
Although this next match may very well overtake the Ospreay Strong match, depending on what they do. Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black. Barbed wire steel cage match for the TNT Championship. Love what they've been doing with Adam Copeland. Anyone that's complaining about Adam Copeland, I'm going to need you to get the fuck out the door. Adam Copeland is doing fantastic in AEW. He's been putting on bangers every single chance that he gets with Christian Cage, Matt Cardona, Buddy Matthews, Kyle O'Reilly, Brody King. The guy is absolutely killing it right now, and he's continued to make the TNT title prestigious even after they took it off of Christian Cage. Christian Cage made it feel prestigious. Adam Copeland is continuing that. I would not mind if Malachi wins. I would not mind if he wins. However, I don't think that Malachi is their priority right now. I'm glad that he's getting TV time. I'm glad that he's in a big-time matchup. I hope that they continue to put him in big-time matchups. Maybe put the House of Black up against the Bang Bang Gang for the Trios titles. Continue to make the Trios titles feel more important. But as far as Adam Copeland goes, I do think that Adam Copeland right now is their priority because what he's doing is working. What he's doing is working. What he's doing for the TNT title is making it feel more important, and he is putting on excellent matches with everyone that he steps into the ring with because he is that damn good, even at his age. And I do believe that we are headed towards a match at All In. It's going to be Copeland and Takeshita, and Takeshita is going to be made into a star when he beats Adam Copeland for the TNT title.
I love that story. I got no problem with that story because I'm a huge Takeshita guy. But at the same time, just the opportunity of having Adam Copeland going back into his Judgment Day mode, because let's not forget, one of the most popular factions in the world today, Judgment Day, was created by Adam Copeland. And we never got to really see him finish that. We know who Adam Copeland is. We know he's an OG member of the Brood, Vampire, all that. He even showed some fangs last night. So just the possibilities of what House of Black can become with the addition of an Adam Copeland. Plus, let's not forget, Malachi Black is very deserving of a title run right fucking now. He's been deserving of a title run for a long time. He was underutilized for a long time. So I would absolutely not mind Malachi Black not only winning this match, but then basically having Adam Copeland as his servant, or whatever you want to call him, his lackey. I don't know. I'm curious to see where this is going to go. It's in a steel cage, barbed wire. It's going to be bloody. It's going to be messy. It's going to be barbaric. Adam Copeland hasn't put on a bad match since the day he stepped in a fucking wrestling ring, because he is that goddamn good. And if you don't believe me, ask Vince McMahon, because you don't put him against the Prototype. You don't put him against John Cena. You don't put him against Randy Orton. You don't bill a match called the greatest wrestling match of all time with a guy who isn't one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and that is Adam Copeland. He's proven it time and time again, putting on epic clashes with the likes of a Mick Foley or John Cena or Randy Orton. And on this Sunday, with a Malachi Black. I look forward to it. I don't care who wins. I'm a fan of both of these guys. I think Adam Copeland will retain just because I like your story. I would love to see Takeshita take that title off of.
And there's a lot more mileage in Adam Copeland's championship title reign. Think of the other matches that he could have. If you
100%.
if you want to turn an Orange Cassidy heel, you want to put Orange Cassidy in there with Adam Copeland. You want to put Roderick Strong in there with Adam Copeland. You want to bring Sammy Guevara back, put Sammy Guevara in there with Adam Copeland. Darby Allin.
Listen, I got nothing against any of those, but I'll just say this. I love both guys. I think both guys could do a phenomenal job with the TNT title, whoever has it. I don't care who wins. I just want to see a sick match. That's what this one's about to me. I want to see a sick match. That's it.
Moving on here, we got last 4 matches on the show. Jon Moxley and Konosuke Takeshita, IWGP World Heavyweight Title Eliminator match. Now, there is one problem that I have with this match.
This match scares me, Storms.
The only problem that I have with this match is the fact that AEW is over-abusing the Eliminator match. We have seen about 7 Eliminator matches in the last 3 months. Way too many. Listen,
and yeah, usually someone's competing that doesn't even deserve it.
I don't mind it every now and then. I don't mind it maybe once or twice a year if you want to make things a little bit special. You want to do something out of the blue and maybe give us a little bit of a shock. Oh shit, there's an Eliminator match going on. And if anything, I would make it a little bit more interesting. I would do a 15-minute time limit. And if he can last 15 minutes with the champion, then he can get a title match as opposed to beating the champion and making the champion look weak. An Eliminator match is fine once or twice a year. But if you're going to do like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 within the span of less than half a year, then we have a problem. Because that right there, that tells me that you're being lazy. That right there tells me that you're just void of any creative and it's not going to come off well to the audience. It's just not. Other than that, I mean, we haven't seen this match in almost 2 years. The last time they fought was on Dynamite back in the summer of 2022. That match was a fucking banger. So if we're going to get anything like that match, listen, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to enjoy the fuck out of it. I think it's going to be a good showcase for Takeshita. They need to keep him on TV. He needs to be a regular. He needs to be in big profile matches. He needs to be going out there and he needs to be putting on bangers left, right, and center. And he's going to do that with Jon Moxley. But I do see Jon Moxley taking the win here. Although, if they want to do something with Jon Moxley potentially defending against Takeshita at a New Japan event, they could do that. But I don't think they're going to do that. I think we're going to get Jon Moxley taking the win. But it will be a big showcase for Takeshita.
I think this is an opportunity to take Takeshita and turn him into an absolute fucking demon. He comes out wearing a demon mask. Make this man a demon. Jon Moxley disrespected him. Microphone right in the head. Probably busted him open. Maybe you can't pin Jon Moxley. Maybe you can't defeat Jon Moxley because they have him built like Godzilla, basically. Every time he comes in, he's kicking the shit out of somebody. He's winning every match. This guy's almost like damn near unbeatable. But if Takeshita could incapacitate this man, leave him in a pile of blood, it would make a big mark on his career, man. This is a big moment for Takeshita. If he could have that moment where not only did he kick Moxley's ass, but he left this guy unconscious, man. That image alone could help establish this man's reign as a top star here in America, man. I would love to see it. I don't think it's going to happen. I think you're right. I think Moxley's going to win. But I would love to see Takeshita leave this man unconscious on the floor in a pile of blood.
It's going to be a good one. Going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to it. Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Moné TBS Championship. Now, I'll get the positives out there first. First off, they are treading in the direction of making Mercedes Moné a heel. Good move. Mercedes.
She's already a heel, man. Nobody likes her.
Well, there's a lot of people that like her, but
the fanboys. That's about it.
I'm not a fanboy, but she's one of the best wrestlers in the women's wrestling scene of all time.
What do you mean? I can name. Sasha Banks was not better than Bayley. Sasha Banks was not better than Charlotte Flair. Sasha Banks was not better than Becky Lynch. Sasha Banks was not better than the majority. I can name 50 women right now in the world that can wrestle better than her ass, man. Are you fucking kidding me?
I can name maybe 5. I can name maybe 5. Mercedes is
crazy,
one of the
man.
best that they got.
You're
Mercedes is
crazy.
fantastic at what she does. Now, at the end of the day, great as a heel, not good as a babyface unless she's working with a heel Bailey. But she's better as a heel, number 1. Number 2, Willow Nightingale. This has been a very good year for Willow Nightingale, and I'm very, very happy that she has been getting the opportunities that she's been getting. She's been on TV regularly. She's been putting out great matches. She got the TBS championship, and she's in a big-time matchup here, and that goes to show you how much they trust Willow Nightingale. The only problem with this match is the fact that Mercedes has been in AEW for 3 months, and they played up this injury excuse as to why she's not competing. If you wanted to have her challenge for the TBS title, fine. You should have given her wins leading up to this match.
Man, you talked about Pac being injury prone. You want to talk about injury prone? It's Mercedes Moné, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's hurt halfway through this fucking match. And this way, Willow can continue being the champion that she's been, because she's right now, I think, the top choice for that title. She's doing a fantastic job. Toni Storm is the 1. Willow Nightingale is the 2. Sasha Banks ain't even the 10, brother. Not in the mic, not in the ring. She's gonna get hurt. She has been. Listen.
I don't want to shortchange Willow, but
I'm saying this. She has literally put me to sleep with all her mic work, man. She is not keeping me entertained. She is not keeping me intrigued. When you come on and you sit there and you talk about all your past achievements that weren't even that great, in my opinion.
She had the greatest women's wrestling match of all time. What are you talking about?
No, she didn't. With who?
With Bailey.
No, this is the greatest women's match of all time. What are you, out of your fucking mind?
That is the greatest women's wrestling match of all time.
You want to know the best women's match I've ever seen in my life? The 2 women who made it feel more real than anything I've ever seen? I give it to Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey, man. Those 2 women killed each other, bro.
Garbage.
Get out of here,
Garbage, bro.
Bailey and Sasha Banks, best women's match of all time.
At TakeOver Brooklyn 1.
I watched it. It was a great match. It was a great match. I'm not going to say it was the greatest match of all time.
That was the turning point for women's wrestling in WWE.
I think you're coming over that because those were the days that you were just talking about earlier, like the golden days of NXT Black and Gold. And bro, the company had so much hype. It was hard not to fall in love with everything you saw on the screen. It was a phenomenal match. It was a great match. They stole the show. All that ain't the greatest women's match of all fucking time.
You did. It is. Argue with a fucking wall.
Out of your fucking mind.
And at the end of the day, the back and forth between Willow and Mercedes has actually been very solid.
Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair was even better than that. Come on.
Charlotte Flair is not, but Charlotte Flair is the worst of the horsewomen.
First of all, Charlotte Flair is maybe the greatest female human in the history of existence.
Not.
Like her ovaries,
her
ovaries are fucking priceless, bro.
Get off my fucking show, dude.
Well, listen,
it's bad enough I got Gianna Forever. It's whoever the fuck she is.
No, that's a guy. That's a member of the Savage Kingdom, all right? And Mr. Gianna Forever, go over, subscribe to DJ Storms if you haven't done it yet. And he thinks Bianca and Sasha was her best match. Maybe. I'll just say this because I want to get out of this conversation as fast as I fucking can because I'm over Mercedes Moné. How about this? I don't give a fuck who wins this match. I'm going for Willow Nightingale. I hope she whoops Mercedes Moné's ass.
It will be a very good match. I'm looking forward to seeing what these 2 women do. It sucks that she got injured last year because it feels like she was just scratching the surface of what she could do. Her and Kyrie put on a damn good match back in February of 2023. And when we got to the match with Willow, just bad timing. But I do think we're going to get a great women's wrestling match. We are going to see a new TBS champion.
Yeah, probably. If she doesn't get hurt, you're right. Yeah.
And I'm going to make a bold prediction here. You remember when Mercedes was attacked backstage during an interview?
Yeah.
I think we're going to get the individual who attacked her revealed, and I feel like I know who it is.
I would love if the individual that attacked her revealed cost her the match. Get her away from this title.
Lead to a match for the title at All In.
Maybe.
It's going to be Britt Baker.
Okay, I'm okay with that. I need me some D in my life. I should go visit her at the dentist office. She stays busy. You know, she's getting trained right now by DDP.
She's a fucking beast.
She's doing training because I talked to DDP last week. He told me he couldn't do because we were supposed to do something this week, but he told me he was busy this week because he's training with Britt Baker.
What the fuck is she on? It's like she had a complete life resurgence. She looks fucking jacked.
Yeah, dude, she's gonna come back right now, and she's gonna have a run at trying to become the best female wrestler in the world, and she's not far off.
And I think that Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné is going to be the TBS title match at All In. There's your big time match.
Yeah, Gianna, I would love if that was true. If Mercedes just faked her own attack because she's that much of a fucking loser, that'd be great.
Fuck out of here, Gianna. Swerve Strickland. And
whoa. We got to do the arena match first, no?
Then, it all depends on what the main event is. Because
come on, the main event's got to be Swerve. If it's not Swerve, then that's disrespectful to the World Championship. You should be fucking offended.
I agree, but they put the Anarchy in the arena match on.
All right, so let's pretend that we give a fuck about professional wrestling more than we do, and let's give the respect to the World Champion. We talk about him.
Fair. The Elite, Jack Perry, Matthew, and Nicholas Jackson. I am not receiving a $1,000 fine from them. I will say them by their government names. And then we got the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. They're taking on Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin, and FTR. Anarchy in the arena. Every Anarchy in the arena has delivered up until this point, and I do believe that we are going to see another big-time Anarchy in the arena match deliver. However, there's one thing that I am going to say about this. There's only one part that doesn't make sense, and that's Bryan. The only reason why Bryan's in there is because Omega's out with diverticulitis. That's the only reason why, and probably because he requested this match because it's his last full-time year, and he's going to go out in a blaze of fucking glory. He's going to go out in a blaze of glory, so he wants to compete in this match. Darby makes sense. FTR makes sense. The problem is Bryan just doesn't have any current-day beef with the Young Bucks. He has history with them, but he doesn't have any current-day beef with them. Other than that, it's going to be a fucking great match, and the Elite's going to take this. The story here is the Elite being built up as the just power-hungry pricks that are going to do whatever the fuck they want without any consequences whatsoever, and it'll probably lead to a Blood and Guts match. I'm not sure when they're going to do it. I would probably do it in July because Blood and Guts is a nice bridge between Forbidden Door and All In, so I'd stick to July. I'd stick to July to do Blood and Guts, and as of right now, I think the Elite's going to take the win here. It only makes sense. Not sure if Darby's going to stick around because Darby Allin, I swear to God, he's like a fucking walking Looney Tunes character. He breaks his foot, he gets hit by a bus, he's still fucking walking. He's like the fucking coyote that keeps getting beat.
I'm glad you bring it up because I was going to bring it up.
It's unbelievable. But
listen,
what you got to say?
This match has a lot of interesting points here. Number one, you got FTR, one of my favorite tag teams of all time. Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin, all on the same team. Darby Allin was supposed to climb Mount Everest, got hit by a fucking bus, breaks his fucking leg every other fucking week. Somehow he still shows up and wrestles and has a killer match. This guy is Jeff Hardy, Rob Van Dam, reincarnated as far as the crazy goes. He's willing to do the spots and the bumps that haven't been attempted since the days of Mick Foley. He's a fucking lunatic. And because of that, when he's in a match, you never know what you're going to see. Just him being in the match is enough reason to be like, what the fuck is going to happen? That's how crazy Darby Allin is. Do I love it? Not really, because I don't want to see this guy get hurt. I think he should tone it down a little bit and save those crazy moments for like real special moments. But he's not like that. He's full crazy 24/7. What's going to happen in this match? EVPs have been getting pushed to the moon, right? They run the company. They're the bad guys. Okada has been nothing but money since the day he has arrived in AEW. He is respected as a Japanese wrestling legend / god. They have treated him as such. He pairs with the Young Bucks so perfect. Their rhythm and timing during their segments, if you notice, is so good that every wrestler in the world should kind of take notice of what they're doing together, working together, because promos are very difficult to do on live TV. Their timing, their cadence, the way they present themselves, the way they dress, the way they talk, the little tiny details, the methodical. I mean, these guys are wrestling in suits, dress pants, vests, shoes. They're going all out. They're committing to the gimmick. They're committing to the role of being EVPs and tag team champions and assholes and everything else that is there.
Everything, dude, everything.
But the biggest factor in all this isn't even Darby Allin, who's wrestling after getting hit by a bus. It's Jack Perry. It's the scapegoat. It's the guy who attacked the boss. It's the guy who attacked Tony Khan. Now, Tony Khan went on record and said he will not retaliate against Jack Perry because it probably wouldn't be good for himself. But that doesn't mean he's going to stick to that. And that alone is another factor in this match because you don't know what we're going to see. Is Tony Khan maybe going to snap and want some revenge on Jack Perry? I don't think that's going to be the case, but I like having it in the back of my mind. It's like a maybe. Good match. Another match that's going to be brutal, going to be barbaric, going to be hardcore. There's going to be blood. There's going to be guts. Should be called Blood and Guts Anarchy in the Arena. But
Pretty much.
But it's going to probably be the most fun match of the night. But I do think we see the Young Bucks win this match.
I actually think that Jack Perry's going to get the win here.
Oh, well, yeah, you know what I mean. Whatever you want to call them. Team Elites. Okay, Team Elite is coming up with the win.
Jack Perry. And by the way, Jack Perry hasn't even fucking wrestled. And he's actually one of the best acts on the fucking show.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Swerve Strickland. My man Swerve Strickland against Christian Cage, AEW World Championship. Swerve Strickland is off to a very good start with his
click
AEW
that other
World
slide.
title run.
Click that other slide, the other AEW one. So I'll put the big full screen picture of this one. Pay some respect to the no, where is it?
Where is it? Right over here.
Right
there you go.
Boom! Look at that. Some respect for the goddamn world champion.
Swerve Strickland, he's had a damn good start to his AEW World title reign. He's been winning matches. He's been looking strong. He had a banger with Claudio for the AEW World Championship on Collision last month, and now he's got his second major title defense, but his first pay-per-view title defense against Christian Cage. Perfect opponent. I fucking called that this would have been the match. And Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage has been built up very, very nicely. The best built match going into the show. Excellent, excellent, excellent shit. And I think that these two are going to put on one hell of a fucking match. Christian Cage is doing the best work of his career right now. And Swerve Strickland, this is only going to elevate him. It's only going to make him a better world champion. Swerve is taking it. No doubt about it. No need whatsoever for Swerve Strickland to lose this match. Christian and his big angle will be with Killswitch. They've teased it before. Christian and Killswitch, they will be headed towards a split. It's probably going to result in a match at All In, and Killswitch is going to essentially be the Wardlow to Christian Cage's MJF. Remember when they were doing that story back in the day? And we are going to see Killswitch get his revenge on Christian Cage at some point this summer, preferably at All In. Swerve, on the other hand, I think he's headed towards match number 4 with Hangman Adam Page at All In, and they're going to end that storyline with Swerve beating Page. This time, with Swerve staying the babyface, Page is the heel. And after Page loses, Page is going to go full-blown 2009 Randy Orton and just snap. He's going to become a sociopath because he could not live with the fact that he couldn't take the world title from Swerve Strickland.
That could very well happen. This match can go either way in my book because both of these guys are worthy competitors. If Christian Cage became the AEW World Champion this Sunday, it would not shock me because this guy's capable of anything. He's fucking Christian Cage, who, by the way, has been in the WWE for decades. And guess what? He's doing the best work of his career in AEW as far as promos and character go. He's been
And matches.
You're not wrong, but character work. Christian Cage is the guy you want to go to if you want to see a master of his craft. So it wouldn't surprise me if he wins this title. Matter of fact, I'd probably dig it. You know why? Because Luchasaurus is another guy, Killswitch, whatever you want to call him. When I saw him as Luchasaurus, I looked at him and I saw Undertaker dressed as a dinosaur, if that makes sense to you. Do you know what I mean? I saw Undertaker dressed as a dinosaur. I'm like, this can be their guy, their mythical figure, their guy that just crushes and kills and slays.
We need to get that trending in the chat. Hashtag Undertaker dressed as a dinosaur.
Dude, it's awesome. And what I would love to see, I know it's not going to happen, but I wouldn't mind it if Christian Cage somehow won this title and then the split happens between him and Killswitch. And then Killswitch becomes a world champion. This would be one of those scenarios where it would be good for business to have quick title transitions because then you put over Christian Cage, he gets his flowers as world champion, and then boom, now we established the big bad dinosaur, Killswitch. Oh, it's not going to happen. What does it matter? We all know Swerve Strickland's going to win this goddamn match. Let me have my fantasies.
I'm a realist, brother. I'm a realist.
You know why? I met Luchasaurus. I met Killswitch. I told him you should be the goddamn world champion. What the fuck is Tony Khan doing with you? He's like, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Either way, ladies and gentlemen, we're headed into a major fucking weekend. I'm going to be taking my notes on literally every fucking thing that's going down this weekend. We are going to be doing a major watch-along this Saturday. The LFU is hosting its second watch-along of the month for the King and Queen of the Ring event in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And then we got Double or Nothing on Sunday. We got 3 streams back to back to back. LFU, Rewind for King and Queen of the Ring, and the Rewind for Double or Nothing. But ladies and gentlemen, that is all that we got.
Hold on. Wait. Before we go, why don't you show these folks what Al Snow be doing at OVW? Because maybe some of your fans aren't familiar with OVW. I got to give shout out to Al Snow and OVW.
That is right. Let's give a shout out to OVW before we get the fuck out of here.
Big screen.
In the heart of the Midwest lies a wrestling promotion unlike any other. Ohio Valley Wrestling. OVW's commitment to training aspiring wrestlers is unparalleled. Their state-of-the-art training facility serves as a breeding ground for talent honing their skills and molding themselves into future stars. OVW's emphasis on creativity allows wrestlers to showcase their unique personalities and styles. Each performer brings their own flavor to the ring, ensuring every match is a spectacle. OVW has a long and storied history of broadcast television within its 26 years of weekly episodic TV. This gives OVW a vast library of content that's unmatched by anyone else within the professional wrestling world. What also makes the OVW television experience unique is our delivery of live television, a feat only attempted and accomplished on a weekly basis by 2 much larger national, international wrestling organizations. OVW's commitment to delivering top-notch entertainment is unwavering. Whether it's a high-stakes championship match or an emotional rivalry, every bout is crafted with precision, leaving the audience on the edge of their seats. Their commitment to training, creativity, community, and delivering top-notch entertainment has made OVW a true gem in the world of professional wrestling. Ohio Valley Wrestling, where uniqueness thrives.
Shout out to Mr. Al Snow. He's doing his thing over in OVW. And I'm sure a lot of big-time names and a lot of great young talent will be coming through OVW. But that is all that we got. We got a lot of shit going down this weekend, and we went through a lot of shit right here on the rundown for King and Queen of the Ring and AEW Double or Nothing. Mr. Savage, you have been a fantastic guest here. I greatly appreciate you. You have been fantastic from the get-go. One more time, tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
Well, first of all, make sure in about 30 minutes you go to Marty Jannetty's podcast, the Party with Marty podcast. Follow, like, share, subscribe. You can watch that episode with Al Snow. You can follow me at Wrestling with Savage. You want it easy? Just go to wrestlingwithsavage.com. You can get every one of my links there. Watch my latest videos. Check out my upcoming events. And more importantly, stay in touch with the Savage Kingdom. Make sure you like and share and subscribe to DJ Storm's channel. Everybody on my channel, follow him, follow me. We're taking this shit over. Stay tuned because next week the Savage Storm is coming.
I'm telling you, baby, you are not going to want to miss it. It's going to be the #1 wrestling analytical show in the entire fucking community during your weekdays, during your Thursdays, the Savage Storm Wrestling Super Show. And it is going to be a fucking game changer because that's what we do. We change the game, we set the trends, and we fucking make history in everything that we do. He is the Greek Savage. I am DJ Storms. This has been The Rundown, but before we get out of here, there's one last very important question that all must answer, including you, including this motherfucker right over here. Who runs the IWC?
We do.
Damn right. It is none other than Greek Savage and who but DJ motherfucking Storms. And don't you ever forget it.
Retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution!